we can try to ask him what we should do next. Possibly, I can't think of any other.
Sean,
I guess we could retreat to the garrison, but
Sean, can I take the dust particles of the broken shards and like say the chant and see if it reconstitutes itself?
Oh no, man! The crystal totally exploded.
There's no pieces, no dust, no nothing, remnants, nothing.
No, it exploded along with your right hand.
Boy, I still have my hand.
Pretty much.
There's an impression of the crystal. Yeah, there's like an impression of the crystal burnt into his hand.
Yeah, Van Helsing's hand, you have it all bandaged up at this point. It's bad. It's like 3rd-degree burns on your right hand.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. All right.
And other parts of your body as well. You were burned pretty badly from that explosion. But yeah, the crystal's gone.
Injured. We're all pretty injured, man. We either need to retreat back to the garrison or retreat back to the bird breeze. What the hell we need to do next?
Didn't Cthulhu's son just like come through the water?
Yeah, that's where we're at. Like, what do we do about that? Let's run back to the Birdman cave.
We're kind of.
You guys can talk about what you're going to do, but it's not actually quite your turn yet. And I still have some things to kind of describe as far as what's going on.
Okay.
I'm just getting this other PC situated here.
I'm pretty sure for Sean's action, the Birdman's going to rise like the Phoenix over the horizon, shoot a beam directly into the child of Cthulhu's.
Yeah. In a perfect world. It's kind of wishful thinking, don't you think, Kyle?
Yeah,
bird
priest to the rescue.
Yeah, bird priest, man. Come on.
Lee,
what do you think this is? Pulp Cthulhu?
Do you think the spirit Lee would kill this thing?
No.
Huh?
If he could stab it maybe in the eye.
Oh, I'm thinking like it's not magical, like this one prick with the spear and it'll kill him, like because it's the blessed.
It's magical. It hits automatically, and it does 1d10 for a spear. But other than that, man,
you can always try, Tom. Do you want to live forever?
I don't think I feel the spear pulling itself towards this thing.
I don't have the spear, dude, so it's not my call. I don't even have it.
No, I have it. I just
for a sec.
feel it pulling me towards the child, like pulling you towards the Cthulhu statue. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true.
Is Aiden going to be playing with us tonight, Kyle?
He had to step away for a minute, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a little choppiness here and there from Discord tonight.
Me too.
I'm going to restart it. That might help. I'll be right back.
Acknowledged.
I can hear you guys okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
How's my voice? Is it all right?
Good.
For me, you're coming through just a little choppy, but only at the beginning of your sentence.
Okay.
That might just be because Discord does that thing where it like only sends sound if it detects it.
It's truncating my sentences.
It's just your first sentence, just the very beginning of your first sentence is cut off all the time.
It's probably Discord will do a thing for whatever reason. Instead of leaving the open mic on, it'll like only play sound if it detects the sound. So sometimes like it'll take it takes it like a split second, but sometimes that split second will cut off the beginning of a sentence.
Yeah, it'll lag.
Yeah, a lot of times.
So what are we gonna do, guys? Are we gonna like run? I mean, what can we do? I guess really we're kind of like
again, run to the garrison or run back to the Birdman and find out what we should do next. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, and just for context, you guys, you must realize that we haven't made any sanity checks yet either. I'm gonna grab a drinky drink and then we'll start. I'll be right back.
I'm well aware of that, Sean. I've been thinking about it all week, actually. We lost.
Man, what?
Remember when we lost Lee this way when Nyarlathotep appeared?
Oh yes, you told me about that. Actually, yeah, I think I heard you guys playing that one.
Do you remember that, Lee?
I think
we lost
started
him.
it.
What are we trying to remember?
Oh, the
Nyarlathotep, the bloody tongue.
Oh,
yeah, the last time we had to make sandy check for a monster or hideous beastie like this, we lost Lee to the Nyarlathotep.
Yeah.
Actually, we lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
We lost
That's where Sparky made his 0-1 roll and shot Nyarlathotep right in the head. Bam!
That's I was on
point blank range.
Yeah, point blank, exactly. John Wilkes Booth style.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the episode with pardon this crude interruption.
That was great, Kyle, man, when you blew Mr. Black's head off before
that was cool. That was awesome.
he transformed. That was pretty cool.
Sparky had some wonderful moments.
I kind of imagined it like that scene in that movie, The Thing, where the tentacles and shit start coming up out of the dog, with his body line up there on the stage, and all this shit starts coming out of his body, and you're like, oh shit, and you go running, trying to run out of there. Van Helsing opens up with the Browning machine gun. That was great.
For a minute there, I thought you meant The Thing, like Marvel, like Fantastic Four, and I'm like, yeah, I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, no, the John Carpenter movie.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to see that. That's like right along with Escape from New York. Stuart.
Yeah.
You need to see both those movies.
Okay.
That's especially good in the theater, man. If you guys have a theater around there, I'm sure you do, that plays old movies like that. If you can ever catch The Thing at the theater, man, that's the way to see it. It's a good one.
And Escape from New York's that one where they turn like Manhattan Island into basically a giant prison, right?
Right.
Yes.
In 1980 or 1992 or something. In 1992.
Basically, yeah.
It is something like that. Yep.
And Lee Van Cleef is in that movie, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's basically Arkham City, but 30 years older.
Right. Is Aiden going to be joining us tonight, Kyle?
I'm right here.
Oh, hello. All right. I think everybody's here.
Speaking of Aiden.
All right. So,
Samuel, are you online? Okay. Sam will be joining us later.
okay, cool. All right. So,
Playing Plague Star.
recap wise, so you guys were at the military enclosure with Captain Pereira, I believe, waiting for some radio messages and such from anybody, anywhere. Really waiting to hear perhaps from the O'Higgins, the Chilean cruiser, or maybe some word from your comrades, the second wave of investigators that are supposed to be arriving from Malta. And that evening,
Okay, I'm on.
the soldier came running into Pereira's office saying there's something happening. And you guys ran out to one of the watchtowers that kind of encircled the enclosure. And looking out from the watchtower with your binoculars, you began seeing some explosions and fire coming out from the direction of the Esmeralda.
And the Russian is still blind.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I'm blind too.
Yeah, this is for the people who can see. So you so you see these explosions and shit coming from your steamer out there, your ship. And then shortly thereafter, you spot the immense black shape coming through the water up towards the beach, and some otherworldly horror emerging from the ocean begins to some rampaging murder spree on the village of Hangaroa below you. It's not too far away. It's only a couple 100 yards away from where you guys are. And this thing comes up out of the ocean, and it has like these frog-like legs, and it kind of hops towards the village and begins scooping villagers and soldiers up with its paws, and it's got these tentacles coming out of its head and face, just laying waste to the village at this point. So it's almost a good thing that Aloysia and Johnny can't see. It's good for you guys.
Does that mean no sanity check?
So at that point, as you guys are watching, you hear this booming crack of thunder from above. It's deafening. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. And you begin to see these great arcs of lightning racing across the sky to the north. And very suddenly, there's this torrential downpour of rain. It's almost like someone turned on a spigot from above. So torrential rain just kind of suddenly douses the island, and violent gusts of wind blow through the military enclosure, and you can feel the tower platform below you kind of sway, and you hear it groaning and buckling below. And the creature in the village is now somewhat obscured by the torrential downpour, and it lets forth this deep gurgling bellow that kind of shakes the ground, a blasphemous and unholy sound. And it's followed by the continued screams and cries from the villagers and the soldiers of Hangaroa. And the sucking and gurgling sound you hear emitting from this monstrous scene of slaughter before you are maddening. I need everybody to make a sanity check.
Even
the blind people?
Nope.
Yeah.
I could describe it to you guys. You want me to describe what we see?
No.
I'm not sure you could describe it accurately. I don't know.
I'm very.
It's really, really, really horrible.
So good luck on the sanity roll.
It's very bad, yes.
If you lose, remember guys, if you lose 5 or more sanity in one shot, you're going to have a bout of madness. And you can't use luck on sanity rolls. You can't.
So what do I roll?
go on
The green one?
Sanity rolls.
The green one, Sean, or the gray one?
Green one's fine. There's no bonus dice or anything. So it's just a straight roll.
Hey!
Hard successes.
Van Helsing made it.
Nice. I've seen worse.
I can't believe that.
Jean-Luc made his by 1. He rolled a 64. He needed a 65.
Oh, we.
Oh.
Van Helsing, man.
The drug-induced
I've seen worse.
alcohol.
Real quick.
Oh, I did not make it.
Yeah, Clark didn't make it. Uh-oh.
Wait, did you?
I think Clark may have.
Did you roll?
Clark may have his first bout of sanity.
Are you getting pictures of all this? Is this why you're taking pictures, though? Does he take the last picture before he goes insane?
I don't know. We'll see if he does go insane. So Clark, Sam, you're going to lose 1d20 sanity, please.
Oh my.
Oh boy.
Roll low, man.
Jeez.
Hey!
All right.
Nice. Wow.
Nicely done.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
god.
I went about as low as it could have.
The dice have been kind.
So he gets a good picture then. Roll photography, Sam.
Roll for photography.
Well, if Sean can let you take a picture. Or is it? How big is this thing?
It's about the size of a 20-story building, Tom.
Ooh.
20-story building? Oh my. Okay.
It's the worst picture you ever
It's
took.
gigantic. So everybody else who made their roll loses 1d6.
Ooh.
That's big.
That's gonna
oof.
hurt.
Hey.
That was good, Kyle. 4.
Oh,
Of course, the doctor gets 4.
Yeah. Not 5.
Just 4.
Oh, by the way, Stuart, how you doing?
doing good.
All right, so everybody loses the
Why?
appropriate amount of sanity points. Give me 1 sec. Sorry.
Sacre bleu. Heavy weapons. I think we might want to flee.
Okay, so as you guys are witnessing the slaughter down there on the beach, and again, you need to realize this is away, right? You have a pretty good view of it, although it's now somewhat obscured by this torrential downpour. You guys are soaking wet. The wind is blowing hard enough to make the guard tower that you guys are standing in, it's kind of swaying. And you feel it kind of buckling beneath you.
guard tower, man. It's buckling.
And then all of a sudden, this great thunderbolt startles you as lightning strikes an adjacent watchtower in the compound, about 50 feet away from you. And the tower explodes in a fiery mass of debris, forcing all of you to shield your eyes from the blast. And then,
Get out of this tower.
And then Jean-Luc, you look up, and you guys hear Jean-Luc say, "Look there!" as he grabs Bear by the shoulder, and you can see Jean-Luc's gaze looking up into the sky, and his mouth is agape. As you look up, you see the swirl. You see this kind of swirling clouds and rain above you. You see a mass of spherical shapes the size of the moon rip open the sky, and it's like a pulsing core of darkness up in the clouds. And you see these jagged black fingers of darkness pulsing from the core. The fingers from this thing, these black tendrils kind of coming out of this void, seem to almost tear across the sky, and it reveals in this gigantic gaping hole in the sky an immense black void behind it. And within this void, great globes of light begin massing towards the opening from the edges of the terror. And the nearest globe seems to break apart, and the protoplasmic flesh flows blackly onward to join together and form some eldritch, hideous horror from outer space. Its mask a throng of putrid, iridescent globes, frothing with primal slime within the open void, and pulsing like a gaping wound in the heavens. And as you guys are staring at the sky, it's mind-numbing, and you're all just shocked to your core as you see this happening up above you. And for a moment, you stand, all of you, entranced by this celestial chaos staring down at you. And this thing, far beyond imagination, stretches its inky tendrils from horizon to horizon as you watch. And then suddenly, bracing against the wind and rain, Captain Pereira, cursing in Spanish, draws his revolver and begins shooting into the sky. Need everybody to make another sanity check, please.
Except for the blind.
Except for the blind.
Man, it is good to be disabled.
Yeah, talking about blessing in disguise, right? Somebody rolled 100.
Oh, that's the doctor, man.
Doctor rolled 100.
Bear didn't make it either.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, the doc, it was actually, isn't that Jean-Luc that rolled 100?
I rolled
Doctor
100
rolled
from 99.
Oh, yeah, 100 and a 99. Oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
Me.
Might have to use my last luck points. Can we use luck points?
The Dice's revenge. Yeah, no luck involved with sanity, dude. All right, so
No? Oh, okay.
looks like the three of you fail. I think we're missing a roll. Who didn't roll?
Or Sam.
Oh, sorry. I was in the bathroom.
There's another sanity roll, mate. Oh, no.
All right,
Oh.
so everybody roll a d10, and you lose that many sanity.
The dice were kind, and now they're just cruel.
It's a d10, folks.
Oh, no! Yes! Yes!
Damn, man, things went south fast.
Oh, no!
Ben, I was like, no.
Yeah. It's all coming back to me, man.
Lucky. Very, very lucky.
Oh, this is bad.
Oh, I thought I rolled a 10. That is
Increase
terrible,
the
Tom.
dosage of cocaine.
I ingest more.
Yeah,
All right, Tom.
this is just like the last time we saw something like this.
You're making me get out the sanity table.
I know. That's what I'm worried about.
Shit. I thought I had it.
Go, Tom.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Gonna suddenly find your daughter again.
Yeah, you see Pumpkin come out of the clouds.
I start screaming, Peanut, Peanut, this is for you.
I say we jab Van Helsing in the neck with a morphine shot, get her and run.
That's a great idea. Take me out.
Like,
Run to
where-
the
You need a lot of morphine, but I agree. Knock him
Where's
out. Let's
Johnny
get out of
Law?
here.
I only have one.
Johnny
hit
Law is standing next to y'all blind, trying to figure out why the hell y'all are screaming.
I'm just
Hey, guys,
curious because
I only have one.
could have been hospitalized.
Dude.
Hospitalized immediately.
I have one hit point, people, so be gentle.
All right, Tom, roll a d10 for me.
Higher or lower, better.
Oh, it's random.
Doesn't matter at this point.
No.
It's any consolation.
What shouldn't I roll?
A 9.
Let's see what you get.
Yes. Deck of
All right.
many things.
We can't lose the doctor now.
We
All right,
need him for the story later on.
It's going to be a phobia of some kind. Let's see.
For the phobia.
Yeah.
Give him the
phobia.
fear of facial hair. It's an actual phobia.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think
Wow.
my face has the fear of facial hair. Because I've been trying, but man.
All right, so keep that in mind, Tom. Van
Okay.
Helsing has gained a phobia, but the immediate effect of it really isn't too readily apparent right now. So you're still in control, but you're going to have a crippling phobia from now on, at least for a while.
You already know what it is, though, but I don't.
Oh, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Got it.
Dang it,
You'll
you
know.
could have had.
It's going to be a
total phobia.
problem.
I
It
feel
is
a point.
Spires.
You'll know
All right.
soon enough.
Exactly. All right, good. All right.
Anytime the adjective crippling is used,
Yeah, it's as long
Alright,
as
so-
he's not afraid of morphine, he'll be okay.
All right, so as you guys are staring into the sky at these sort of putrid iridescent globes emerging from this black tear in the sky, even more violent gusts of wind and rain crash against you. And the consistency of the rain is not right. It has more of a consistency of oil than rain. It's very kind of slick and oily. And you again feel the tower platform below you buckle again.
You must move.
And now you guys can decide what you want to do.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
suggest
that's
we
my-
run.
Yeah, there's a ladder, like a regular ladder that leads down to the ground. Pereira is just unloading his revolver into the sky.
Should we grab him and try to save him?
We gotta make sure somebody's gonna grab. We gotta make sure these guys who are blinded get safely down.
Yeah, how did we get him up there?
Let's get out of here.
How do we get
So-
them up there? Yeah, exactly. We left them on the ground.
Yeah, they couldn't see anyway. Yeah, come to this observation tower. Why?
We should have been like in a chair.
It's like, gee, thanks. That's
In
really
the
I'm not
hospital.
calling that.
The military hospital there.
it
was
was
very
thrilled,
good.
yes.
Well, yeah. So our it doesn't make sense that the blinded would be up there with us. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
can
do
say they're back in
agree.
the office. That's fine. So you guys in the office would hear. Your vision's just kind of like a blurry gray. You can see a little bit of light, but you really can't distinguish any images or anything. But you would hear the storm kick up like suddenly, and you hear the walls creaking, and you hear the wind and rain outside, and the lightning, and the thunder crashing. At this point, you guys begin climbing down out of the tower. Jean-Luc, you catch one more glimpse as you mount the ladder. You see the village. The thing is still down there, and it lets forth another deep, kind of gurgling bellow. That's just kind of just horrifying in itself. The sound of it is frightening. But you guys get down the ladder, down to the compound. So if you look at the map here, you guys are essentially where the pin
yell
is
at the captain.
on the wall.
I'll yell at the captain to come with us.
Okay, you see him look down at you from the tower, and he starts climbing down the ladder. He's yelling something to you in Spanish.
him in French.
Do I have
Danielle,
something
Matt's
open on my
friend,
computer,
your
or
friend.
is the thing actually playing Amok Time right now?
Yes.
Yeah,
For,
that's our new thing.
Excellent. I have no objection.
So you guys get down. You're near the wall of the enclosure here, and there's a main gate. It's really the only way out of the wall. The wall's about 20 feet high. The towers are about 50.
where's the monster?
Down here.
Okay.
It's like in the center of the village, and you guys who can see, it's really hard to see exactly where it is now, so that you're down on the ladder, you can't see it anymore. But you still hear the screaming, the people of the village from afar.
Exit
Gentlemen,
this
I suggest
compound
we
and make a
leave.
beeline. Yeah, and make a beeline to the cave of the Birdman.
How far is that? And can we take a car? We need a car.
There is
There's
there's no road actually that leads down to the volcano down here. This is where the cave is. It's about 3 miles roughly south.
It's not that far.
Oh, when you got a 20-story thing, you get pretty, athletic all of a sudden. So
Yeah. If we're gonna run,
You have to get us then.
yeah, if we're gonna run away,
We can run when we're motivated, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
The blind
Well,
can move.
We definitely grab our blinded friends and
Yes, gentlemen, I suggest you be me aboard. Yes.
Here's my ticket. Now to the cave.
All right,
We
so
run.
you guys exit the military enclosure with Pereira in tow. And you see a group of soldiers running at you from towards the village, and they have this, their eyes are wide, and they look horrified. They don't have any weapons on them or anything. They're just booking it towards you guys. And Pereira yells out to them, like hails them, and they come running up to where you guys are. There's 4 soldiers, and you guys are heading south. It is nighttime, and let me make a roll here.
Flashlights. Well, I guess we wouldn't want to use them.
All right. So after about 10 minutes of running, the screams fade behind you. The storm still rages. And I imagine some of you probably are trying to avoid looking at the sky, but you can't help yourself. You can see that the rip, the black rip up there seems to be subsiding a bit, although you still can see some lights from these orbs up there, but it seems to be kind of going away. It's just more gray, green clouds up there now. This is kind of a strange, unnatural green up in the sky.
Can anybody roll Cthulhu Mythos? I don't have that skill. Could they?
Sure, I'll allow Cthulhu Mythos skill. And as a matter of fact, I think before we go any further, we should make some skill checks, because we keep forgetting to do that at the beginning of the session. I'm hearing my voice through somebody's mic.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
So go ahead and do skill checks, guys. Open up your character sheets and roll for any check skills. Try to fail them.
Try to fail.
Try to fail. If you fail, you get a D10 added. You can roll for your luck too. Aiden, I think it's your mic that our voice is coming through. You need to use some headphones if you have some.
I don't have any.
Okay.
Aiden, come in here, and I think I have a set you can use.
Yeah, even like a pair of earbuds or something would work. It's just kind of weird hearing my echoing voice like a second after. I can't even talk.
I thought a lot of it's rolled for something.
Oh shoot. Hey, how do I get to the right character sheet again? Because every time I try to pull up, I think I keep pulling up the one for the Old West.
Yeah, just close that Down Darker Trails menu. You can just hit the minus thing next to it,
okay.
and that'll close it down, and the other characters are out just kind of in the main journal.
Got it.
section here.
Okay.
And another good thing you can do, Stuart, is I like to, when I play, I pull out my character sheet into a separate window with that little button at the top left of your sheet,
Oh, hey, look at that.
and that way you can just
You can
kind
use
of.
that?
I use
More
Alt
to
Tab.
know.
You can Alt Tab back and forth.
Yeah.
But does it have a mic on it? No. Use this.
I rolled for some of that already, Sean.
Okay. Maybe we did it at the end of the last session.
I think we did, because I seem to remember rolling like a 10 on that brawl roll.
Okay,
Ended
cool.
up really good.
I have some modifications to my scores.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, and I think that works, man.
Cool. All right, Tom, we're going to do a roll here.
Did you see that I fumbled my Cthulhu Mythos roll?
Well, you don't roll skill checks for the Cthulhu Mythos. That's the
No,
one
no,
exception.
before we were rolling Cthulhu.
Oh, you rolled for Cthulhu Mythos and you fumbled it.
Yes.
Right, so I should make you lose Cthulhu Mythos points.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, I forget something.
We'll just give you an extra bad phobia. How's that sound?
This is clearly
Nice.
Norse mythology at work.
All right.
What do I use for when I fail one of those?
You added D10 to the skill points. You get 1d10 skill points to add to it. Hey Tom, roll a d100 just for funsies here.
Incoming.
I have a good idea of
Witches.
There's literally a phobia for everything.
Is there a phobia of failing rolls so he can never fail a roll?
That'd be like that superpower in Deadpool. That was her luck roll. Didn't she she was lucky?
Oh, yes, yes.
Tom, I think
What's her
cool.
name?
Oh.
I know who you're
I
talking
know,
about.
the full power.
Here's what I think I'm going to do, Tom. I'm going to
All
give
right.
Van Helsing a lingering fear of thunder.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And basically what that means in the presence of thunder, which we are now, we're going to make this interesting. You're going to kind of lose control a little bit. Let me get back to that.
What
That's
exactly does lose control mean? I mean, like in a murderous rampage?
it sounds like a
fetal position way.
All right. Well, that's kind of what we need to determine here. To make this interesting.
It's thunder.
In my opinion, it does kind of make
on ya. Whenever it starts to rain, just shoot yourself up, and you know.
Yeah, the fear of thunder kind of makes sense.
Yes, it does, because it's happening right now.
Oh, and Tom, give me an idea roll too.
Okay. I associate weather with this encounter. Idea roll.
The thing in the sky.
Oh, jeez. Whew.
Bless you.
What's the idea, dude? Why am I having trouble?
Oh, just it's intelligence. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just an intelligence check.
Up behind the doctor with the morphine syringe and stick him right in the arm with it. Give him a good, shot.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it manifests.
Okay.
Tom, roll another D10 for me.
Did I just hear thunder?
Luke preparing the syringe.
Yeah, we are in a thunderstorm.
What would Van Helsing say about it?
All right. So on top of that, Tom, because of the thunderstorm, so Van Helsing, the way this would manifest, he's suffering from a severe bout of paranoia. So let's see, how would that manifest exactly? As you guys are trekking down to the cave,
shaking.
I imagine Van Helsing would be like seeking shelter, somewhere, kind of like a dog would do, from the storm, like trying to find a hole somewhere. So you guys would see that Van Helsing is visibly shaken, except for you guys who can't see. But he's muttering, he's just talking nonsense.
Take your cocaine, doctor.
And then he drops down to his knees and he starts digging into the volcanic dirt with his hands. It's like a foxhole. Dig a foxhole.
I understand the morphine.
Yeah, shoot him up with that morphine, man.
Understand morphine.
Help soothe the nerves.
Also use alcohol.
I have several ample, vials in my medicine. All, pre-syringed and ready to go, the proper quantities.
I'll take a, like a.
Might take a couple tries. You might have an immunity.
Fabric. Wrap his ears, Sean, so he can't hear. Muffle the thunder.
Okay, so you do the best you can. As you're doing that, the other guys are just kind of standing around in the mud and the rain, just watching Jean-Luc trying to attend to Van Helsing, and you guys begin to hear this noise. It's almost like a note from the sky, and you look up and you can still see that black terror is up there, and the sound is obviously coming from the sky. It sounds like is that like a trumpet or something? It's like a reverberating sound that begins to intensify.
Sound of the space-time continuum ripping above our heads.
Yeah, very quickly until it becomes so loud that you feel like you have to kind of block your ears from the sound. And let's see. Let me roll here. You guys see Aloysia suddenly doubles over as if in pain, and he falls to his knees. Aloysia, you begin feeling this pain in your gut. It's like piercing daggers in your stomach. Pain begins to form all over your body. It's almost like somebody is driving nails into your flesh all over your body. And then you see the skin on your arms begin to visibly rot and corrupt. And the outward appearance of your skin just seems to be kind of deteriorating swiftly. So just almost impulsively, and you guys are watching this, you're looking down at Aloysia as he's on his knees.
We see it, like it's happening. He's not hallucinating, like we're actually seeing this.
He holds his hands up
We can't see
in front of his, he holds his hands up in front of his face as if trying to see them, right? And you guys can see the flesh on his hands seems to be kind of just dripping down his arms.
Whoa. Okay.
And you actually do see this.
See it. I can't. I guess I can't see anything. But
okay, yeah, I think Johnny would be the only one who doesn't see this, but you actually do see this, Aiden. Okay, you see your hands, the flesh just right where you see the bone under the skin, and you almost impulsively reach down and he rips open his shirt. And he's looking down. You guys see his stomach, the flesh around his abdomen, begin to peel away and split into tears and rents. And you can see his internal organs like glistening. And all of a sudden, and you see this, Aiden, you see his intestines and organs begin tumbling out of his abdomen. And Aiden, I need you to make actually roll a D10.
Dude.
I'm dead.
that's not good.
Does the doctor see this? Or am I still digging a hole?
No, all of you see this.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Lose 1 sanity point, Aiden. Everybody else roll a D6. And Aiden, roll an intelligence roll for me, please. It's just a straight intelligence roll.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Blind man included for the D6 or?
No, blind man's not seeing this.
Okay.
I'm describing it to him. It's awful.
It's very bad. It's
Everyone
not
else,
good. Yeah.
lose the
Take-
appropriate amount of sanity.
Take pictures.
Oh yeah, Sam, take pictures, dude. Show me later. Yeah.
What
So
is this
Sean-
thing called?
Sean
It's
loses
called
4.
Aiden with his intestines tumbling out of his chest.
Aiden's flesh is rotting away from him.
And Aloysia just kind of slumps over and falls to the ground. And the rest of you take the sanity points that you rolled on that d6, okay?
Intelligence roll. Extreme.
And you hear this, you almost as much feel the sound as hear it coming from the sky. It's like the sound of these deep tones of like brass instruments almost. And it's intensified to a point where it's very loud. When you're all kind of standing there looking down, and Bear, maybe, you kind of look down and you can see his face. He looks dead to you.
Bear run over to him.
First aid. First aid, man. Or medicine skill.
Intelligence roll. Extreme.
Bear's running over to him because that's his buddy. He called him into this.
Hey, man.
Sorry, dude.
Oh man, did you just pull the Nathan sorry, dude?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I
Did you
brought
tell
you into
him that?
this.
Did you
You
tell
brought
them
me
the
into this.
story?
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, dude.
Bear, you reach your hand out to Aloysia to kind of get a look at his face, and you see now your hand. You see like the veins popping up from under the skin, Bear.
Cut it
And
off.
And then you see the tips of your fingers kind of turn green and then black, and the green and blackness begins creeping up your hand. You can see your flesh begin to rot and tear. And you look at your other hand, and it's the same. And all of you see this. Now Bear is standing there like, ah. Bear, give me a intelligence roll.
All right.
Oh.
That might not be a bad thing. I don't understand what I see.
So Bear, you see this, and you look down, and you also can see this flesh start dripping off of your bones on your arms and your hands, and almost in a reactionary way, you guys see Bear kind of turn, and he begins running away from you, like running away, and then Bear, you see your front of your shirt rip open, and there's this like almost like a moving mass inside your abdomen as your skin begins to peel away and then rip and tear, and you see blood coming out of these huge gashes under your shirt.
Do
And
you
you
have
guys-
a elder
you guys-
sign on your file?
No, that was the one we left up at the cave, and those guys stole it.
Bear only gets about 30 feet away from you guys, and you see him kind of
I give you
stumble.
mine.
He trips and falls down to his knees, and he kind of turns back and looks at you guys, and you can see his face is just, you can see like one of his eyeballs is like hanging out. And
I
you see
snapped a picture.
yeah, you can see like these huge gaping wounds in his face as he kind of just falls over on his side.
Run!
I'll,
Run!
Yeah, really.
you guys said something about first aid. I'd allow like someone to try to roll first aid on Aloysia, who's lying there. In fact, 2 of you can do it, so whoever rolls would get the bonus die. You can kind of team up on that kind of stuff. Or a medicine
First
roll would work
aid?
as well.
First aid, or should we be casting resurrection?
Right. Well, it's up to you guys. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
saying, you guys were saying about first aid, so I just kind of went back to that.
Now,
I
hold
got
on,
a
hold on.
51%.
Bear got this thing on him as soon as he went over to him.
Yeah, but there's nothing left of him, dude. He's a skeleton with intestines and organs hanging all over the place.
Right, there's nothing to fear. Come
Oh.
on, put a Band-Aid on it.
I mean,
You're right.
his-
Yeah, we can.
on
Oh,
the way.
yeah. First aid's gonna. Yeah, let's patch him right up. Doctor's seen worse, right?
If we had mummy cloth, we could wrap him up as mummy outfit.
On that, Sean. I
Will
mean,
become
we've,
Mummy 3.
we've seen bad
kinda
injuries. I mean,
duct tape
we
them
know
back
what
together,
severe
right?
injuries are, right? What is,
It looks as if they, I mean, some of you have some of you are war veterans. You've seen rotting corpses. That's what these guys look like. They look like their corpses have been out in the open, exposed to the elements for a couple weeks.
But they're alive and talking.
They're rotted. No, they don't seem to be
They're
alive.
talking.
But I mean, in order to check them to see if they're alive, I would require a roll.
Bodies and get out of here.
Wait,
Let's
there's more than
Molotov
one?
cocktail them.
Yes. Yeah, the Russian, Aloysia's lying on the ground, and Bear kind of ran when it started happening to him. He's lying out there about 30 feet away from you guys, out there in the grass.
Bear,
He's
are
at
you
Molotov cocktail range.
Bear and
Yeah,
Aloysia,
right there.
Aiden's character, the Russian.
Bear, are you rotting as well?
That's what he said.
He has rotted, apparently. Yes.
Oh,
They
dude.
burn the bodies
I
with
imagine-
Molotov cocktails and run.
I imagine Johnny
Yeah.
Law standing there like, "What's happening? What's going on?"
What the hell's going on, guys?
It's really
Johnny
bad.
screaming, "What the hell is going on?"
I'm running out of adjectives to explain it to you.
And Van Helsing's like, he goes back to digging his hole. You know,
I hit the record
even
button,
more
though.
fervently.
I heard the record button on our Walkman.
Well, you're still a little out of control, Tom, actually, at this
All
point.
right.
You're suffering severely from your phobia because you're in the presence of thunder.
Oh,
We Molotov the bodies and get the hell out of here.
You can't
Honestly,
tell.
dude,
Yeah. Jean-Luc, you look down at Aloysia lying on the ground. You can't tell if he's breathing or not, but he does look dead. He looks like he's been rotting. He's
I
rotten.
Molotov both the bodies and we get out of here.
Yeah, honestly, this might be a bit of a stretch, but given that space is crumbling above our heads, and now these guys are rotting, something seems wrong with time. And the longer we stay here, the more likely this is going to happen to us.
I paused for a second. I don't have to burn the bodies, but I'm not sure we want to leave here like this.
no, do a throw, toss a Molotov cocktail, and let's go. It's one round, man.
So Jean-Luc pulls out the gasoline and he's looking at you guys like,
Do I do it?
does anybody have a Zippo?
Blair, it's not a problem. I just want to make sure everybody's okay with me doing this.
All right, so
I mean,
Jean,
what is there else to do?
So
If they're
here's
dead,
what
they're
happened.
dead. What can we do?
Jean-Luc looks at Johnny. Johnny can't even see him. Johnny's screaming like, "What the hell's going on?" Jean-Luc he looks at Clark, and Clark's just standing there with his mouth agape, just kind of looking down at Aloysia's body.
Clark, you're taking pictures, right?
Yeah, Clark's got his
Yeah, I
camera.
took a picture
camera in
of
his hand.
Aiden getting his intestines dying and Bear
Yeah.
with his hanging eyeball.
I want action shots. I want to see the organs falling out of the chest.
Right. So here's the scene, Jean-Luc. Like you look at Johnny, and you're like, no, I don't know. He's not going to tell me whether he wants to do this or not. And then you look at Clark. Clark's got his camera in his hand. You can see his hands kind of shaking. He's kind of fumbling with his camera. And then you look down at Dr. Van Helsing, who seems to be digging a foxhole on the ground. And then you look at Bear's body lying out there. And then you look back to Aloysia. What are you going to do?
Christ.
Clark gets his camera out and he points it at you.
Excellent.
Burn it, dude. Like, just burn it and run. Or just run, honestly.
This
Like,
is an Edith Keeler moment.
Then suddenly, you
All right, man.
hear.
I collect everybody.
Hold on.
up.
Suddenly, you hear Aloysia coughing. And you see him kind of push himself up. And what the hell? He looks completely normal. Aloysia, you can see now, and you look down, you can see your hands. You remember what just happened. You look. So the first thing you do, you look. Everything looks completely normal.
something's
Wow.
fucked.
It's a group trip.
So Aloysia gets up on his knees. Aloysia gets up on his knees and he looks over to Jean-Luc, who's standing there with a Molotov cocktail and a lit Zippo.
Oh, who, me?
How's it going?
Who, me? No, I wasn't going to do anything with this.
That was for those guys over there. You can't see them.
I closed
but that
it.
was-
The Zippo.
That was for Bear, yeah. That was...
All right.
Dude.
Oh, and I guess Pereira's standing there too with his three soldiers, and they just look confused. You see Pereira's got his revolver in his hand,
Is the sky still going crazy? Or I guess
Fading in and out.
Yes, it's still storming. You still hear this tone coming from the sky. And Bear, your eyes flutter open, and you kind of you're looking up to the sky, and you see the black rend up there. It's a little smaller than when you first saw it, and you kind of think to yourself just for a moment, like, where am I? What happened? And then you remember what just happened. You look at your right hand, and it looks normal, and you feel fine considering what's happening to you. You kind of feel, your abdomen. You kind of feeling, you're checking your, no broken bones. You seem to be perfectly fine. So you guys see Bear kind of stand up out there in the grass.
I'm okay.
To you.
Let's get the hell out of here.
He gives you the okey doke
Time to go.
Run away!
You're gonna have to pull
Van
away.
Helsing.
You're gonna have to pull Van Helsing away from his foxhole.
Can we have like a
Not
button
a
for
foxhole.
the runaway?
That's exactly what you do. You run away with Van Helsing in tow.
Run away! Run away!
And Van Helsing screaming, "Leave me alone! What's the meaning of this?"
What's the meaning of this crude?
Run away!
I'm just, that's all I'm envisioning is, that Monty Python where they all try to take on the rabbit and then they turn tail and get out.
Yes!
Yeah.
Run away! Run away!
We are running towards the
Okay. So you guys kind of drudge through the mountainous terrain here. You have to stop several times because it's kind of exhausting. There's a lot of climbing, and eventually, you guys get to what's the name of this volcano? It's the Ranukau volcano. And down in this crater, the crater is kind of recessed. You know that the cave of the Tangatu Manu is down there. This is an actual picture of it right here, actually. So down on the slopes, I believe down here somewhere is the cave. The weather's still quite bad. It's pouring down rain. The thunder hasn't stopped.
lines.
Van Helsing. Van Helsing needed another dose of morphine a few minutes ago. He's okay right now, but
All right, so I'm lucid.
Even though I'm blind.
Yeah, you're feeling a little better, Tom. Although the thunder is frightening.
I gave
terrifying.
him cocaine.
Okay.
The sound, the tone of the horns or whatever they were in the sky has subsided a bit. You hear it every now and then, faintly, off in different kind of directions around the island.
Is that creature still? Can we hear the screaming as it kills innocent people? Still.
Well, you guys are quite a ways away from the village now. You're really not sure exactly what's going on back at the village or the military enclosure.
If we're up on top of this crater, can we look out at the ocean and see if there's anything out in the ocean going on, like the burning or the flames or the whatever?
Visibility is not great, Tom. You really can't see out there.
We could have Van Helsing do a line real quick to increase his senses.
Yeah.
And it is dark. It's nighttime. It's cloudy, so there's no moonlight even. So it's very dark out here. It's going on 11 p.m. or so.
You said the horn was coming from multiple directions?
Yeah, at first it seemed to be coming from directly over you, like somewhere above the island over you. And every once in a while now, for the last 15 or 20 minutes, you hear it every now and then, but it's more distant. Kind of more, the first time was in the southerly direction. The other time it was a little more east. Strange.
I'm still in favor of getting off the island.
Says Johnny. As your sight begins to come back a little bit, it's not so much dark gray, it's more light gray now.
Okay.
You kind of catch flashes of somebody's flashlight for a moment, but yeah, it's coming back slowly but surely.
I am still blind.
I'm gonna find the line, Sean. I'm gonna climb down and attempt to talk to the bird priest and let him know what's happened.
In the rain and in the darkly. You would know, Jean-Luc, that's a dangerous proposition. Given the first time you guys climbed down there, you were really kind of lucky to find it. But it's a difficult climb, even for an experienced climber. So if you'd like to do that, I'm going to require some rolls.
First level. This is now the Mount Everest.
Yeah, and Aloysia, your vision is coming back slowly but surely too, as well. It was very strange how you could just suddenly kind of see when you saw your body rotting away from you.
I try to light the cigarette.
You do.
I feel like these two
Your
would
hand's
benefit
kinda
from a visit
shaking.
to the priest.
Hmm. Yeah, the priest, Father Jorge. Is that the priest you're talking about?
Father Jorge.
You mean the priest of the Birdman?
I don't actually remember the Birdman because I think I was not there for that one, but
I see.
we do have a priest, don't we?
Yes, there is a priest coming in the second wave.
Okay.
Not merely a priest. He's actually an archbishop. Archbishop McBride. He's on his way. So
yeah,
Lee,
McBride. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
let's review here.
Bless you, my son.
Well, here's the thing. I guess at least Bear could kind of shine a flashlight down so I can have some visibility. There's a line I've used before.
Mm-hmm.
You think the
It's
Birdman
not the
could?
first time you're making the climb, too, so there should be some familiarity.
So Lee,
Oh, that's-
what I would require, just to give you a little perspective here, it's basically the same as last time. I'd require a climb roll or a jump roll, your choice, to reach the cave. And if you fail, I would allow a luck roll. But if you fail, it could be catastrophic for Jean-Luc. It's steep. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to fall down there into the bottom of the crater. That would hurt.
I'd say that's bad. Yeah.
That's bad.
What time? What time is it, Sean?
It's going to be going on midnight soon. Looking back towards Hangaroa village, you don't see any lights. You know, normally the village is kind of lit up at night with torches and fires and such, but you're not seeing any lights coming from the village at all.
Oh, no happy hour tonight?
And the visibility is somewhat limited as looking out to sea. You're not seeing any lights out there either. You can hear sort of the crashing of the waves from the south towards the cliff of the Birdmen. Other than that, you really can't see too far. You think you should see lights in the village, though, if there were any.
Do we have any way to communicate to the second wave? How do we talk to the boat? Our people coming? Do we have like telegraph, Morse code?
Yeah, I mean, we really haven't talked about the plan as far as the second wave and how they're going to get there. I had some ideas myself. The best and most efficient way, probably for that particular group of people, would be star steeds. In fact, summon some Bayaki and have them fly you down there.
Fly in on a Bayaki?
Well, I'm just saying. It was just an idea. It's either that.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
It's either that or booking passage or.
No.
You guys don't have a backup Zeppelin, unfortunately.
We're gonna make some Bayaki and fly in, dude. Dragon style.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be due to arrive though not until next week or so. It's going to be a number of days before the planned arrival. But as far as communication, it's kind of rough, dude. It's 1924, so can't just pull out your communicator and.
Right.
Are you guys on your way yet? Now the main form of communication you guys have had since you've been on the island is the radio, the military enclosure. They have a radio, a telegraph, and that's where most of the communication is between the military encampment and the Chilean government consulate in Chile. But they also have ship-to-ship communications and such like that.
If this outpost was destroyed, that means that the Chilean government would be suspicious and send out a party.
Yeah, I'd say with these particular events, anyone would be pretty suspicious. The O'Higgins, the Chilean ship, is due to arrive anytime now, the next day. So it's kind of hard to say. But again, you guys hadn't received any communications from the O'Higgins. That's kind of what you guys were waiting around for tonight when you were waiting in the military enclosure when all this happened. So to answer your question, Tom, the only form of communication is radio.
Okay, got it. Makes sense.
And we're bending reality just a little bit there, but Yeah.
I don't know what to do, guys, man. I'm shaking. I'm fearful. I got 1 hit point. I'm low on sanity. And the Birdman's not going to help us. And we're sitting out here in the middle of this crater. I don't know what to do. I'm lost.
Mm.
I got some
Yeah,
spells.
I'm not much help either. I'm blind as shit. So
I thought your sight was coming back. No,
Fading in and out for me.
got
it's
it. Okay.
is my sight actually back, or is it just starting to come back?
It's starting to come back. You think
Okay.
that probably by morning, you should be good to go.
Can I do
But
first
you guys,
aid of myself?
it took you guys a couple of hours to get out here, by the way. So it's past midnight now. You guys are exhausted, wet, muddy. Your powder is not dry.
What are you doing?
Can I attend my wounds and try to get myself first aid?
Yeah, I don't think we actually did that. We may have, but yeah, we can do that. Let's do some first aid all around. If you look at your tokens up here, you can kind of see the shape people are in. The green bar is hit points. Johnny's hurting too. He
I'm at 1 hit point.
He was attacked by the deep one with the pig sticker.
Yep.
Hey,
So if I made first aid, what do I roll for hit points?
It's 1d3, Tom.
Ooh. Looking forward to pulp rolls.
Yeah, really.
It's 1d4 in pulp, yeah. Medicine is 1d6 in pulp. Medicine is 1d... Well, actually, no, you don't use medicine for first aid in these regular rules here.
you guys were fading in and out. I had to go into the living room.
Try maybe restarting Discord, Aiden.
Oh, Lord.
I moved out into a very close.
I think the
different room.
Discord servers are probably pretty busy tonight and Friday night.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
Discord can be a little bit spotty in general sometimes.
Yeah, it can. It's been better than Roll20 lately.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let me make sure I'm recording everything. I am. All right. All right. So who was that first aid for? Yeah.
That was first aid for me, so I got 2 hit points.
And by the way, somebody else could help Dr. Van Helsing, which would give him a bonus die on the roll.
Oh, help me. Help me.
Yeah.
Can I help him?
I have a pretty good first aid skill.
Yeah, yours is good. What is it? It's like a...
It's a 51.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What's up,
That
guys?
is good. I think Bear, Jean-Luc, and Johnny can all use first aid. I believe.
I'll save on them too, if I can.
Bear's down a couple. Yeah, go ahead. So now click the gray button, Tom, and we'll look at the +1 row. It's a bonus die.
Stand by.
And this is for who? Johnny?
Who's that? Who needs it?
Crazy
Johnny's
old man
the worst.
Helsing. Got his doctor bag out.
Johnny's the worst off, man.
Johnny. I go to Johnny. Oh wait, sorry. Don't look at that one. The gray one you said. Here goes the gray one.
Yeah, Johnny has a punctured spleen. Looks like Van Helsing. He needs help. So the plus run, that's a fail. You rolled an 88 and a 79.
Okay, I try the next contestant.
So Jean-Luc,
Yep.
+1, extreme. So Jean-Luc gets back 1d3. At least he doesn't make it worse, Johnny. He didn't fumble.
Paul's trying to heal him.
Not right now. It's kind of once per scene kind of a thing, the whole first aid. If you fail it, you can't just keep rolling, you know.
No, that makes sense.
We've got to keep things in suspense here. It's not like we can just have the cleric cast cure wounds, you know.
Right.
Cure light wounds, cure light wounds, cure light wounds. Oh shit, I used all my spell slots.
Hey, if you got the spell memorized 3 times, you could do it.
So roll a d3, Tom, for Jean-Luc, and then roll first aid again for Bear. All right, Jean-Luc gets 2.
Now here goes Bear. Oh, ignore
Here
that.
Here goes Bear.
Bear.
+1, extreme success. Rolls a 3. Cha-ching. So 1d3 for bear. So Johnny, I would say actually, you're at 1 hit point, dude. Johnny would be almost thinking to himself, I imagine at this point, being half blind and being out here, this volcano, and after what happened, you didn't see any of this, so it's a totally different perspective from you. But you would certainly start wondering if you're going to get out of here alive at this point.
He'll be like, remember that night it rained?
Yeah. Yeah, what happened that night?
What happened?
It really didn't
Somebody
seem
tell
that bad.
It was a what in the sky? All right, so you guys are camped out on Run Cow down here. And about an hour passes or so, I would say. Jean-Luc, have you decided if you're going to make that dangerous climb tonight or not? No sign of the Birdman. The thunder begins dying down a little bit, Tom.
Okay.
We'll basically make a little camp and set watch, and I think if it clears up in the morning, I'll try to climb down. If not, we'll.
Okay, very good.
I can't think of a way to get off.
Shouldn't I have a phobia thing on my character sheet, Sean?
Yeah, you should. It's called, I'll look it up here. You just put fear of thunder, phobia. I'll give you the technical name for it, though. So you guys do. You camp out. You wait till morning. Looks like, Johnny, when you wake up, you feel this immense pain in your gut. You look down, you can see your bandage is soaked with blood. But hey, at least you can see that your bandage is soaked with blood. And you guys do notice that Johnny is still alive. Dr. Van Helsing, probably the first thing you check. You are a doctor. He's still alive, but he could definitely use some hospitalization. He's going to need to be looked after.
So I had to duck out there for a minute. Did I miss anything important?
Yeah, I said you guys camped out until morning, and I'm saying,
okay.
Johnny, when you wake up, you open your eyes, and you feel this pain, on your spleen. You're like, oh, and you look down, you can see your bandage is just soaked with blood.
Okay.
And I said, at least you see your bandage is soaked with blood, so you can see now. Aloysia, you can see as well when you wake up.
Can I what would Van Helsing say about his wounds?
Well, I mean, I think there would be some little fear throughout the night whether or not Johnny was going to make it, But he's still kicking the next morning. He's a tough mofo.
Can I back out a suture kit and try to sew him up, stop the bleeding? Now that it's daylight. No.
Yeah, we can say that you've already kind of sewed him up, but he's definitely going to need his bandages changed.
All right, I do that.
Maybe some sustenance. He's going to need some water.
If they're doing first aid stuff, do I heal any hit points back, or am I still at 1?
Yeah, since we already did the first aid and was successful on you, you're going to heal at the natural rate now, which is 1 point per day. Now, if you're in a setting where you're getting actual rest and care, that could increase. But as of right now, you're gonna heal 1 per day. It's that slow Call of Cthulhu style.
Yep.
So everybody gets 1
bleed
point.
Damage.
So everybody heals 1.
Well, it hasn't been. You would get 1 more back tonight. It hasn't really been 24 hours. I believe you guys were out at the Cave of the Evil God yesterday afternoon. So sometime this afternoon, I'll let you guys get a point back. Let's see, I'm going to type this in, Tom, into the text box here. It's chronophobia.
Fear of thunder.
Yeah. There it is. It's in the chat box.
Chronophobia.
And you'll have that for a while. And the only way you can cure phobias and stuff like that is by psychoanalysis and time.
Could I do psychoanalysis?
Well,
yeah,
it's kind of a long procedure. The way you cure phobias and get sanity back, it's on sort of a monthly basis. So
We'll have to leave the island, dude. I mean, that's not going to happen until after we leave the island.
Can I like give him a check just to see?
no, there's no reason. Now there is a way you can use psychoanalysis, Aiden, if you have psychoanalysis. If someone has a bout of madness, like if they've lost 5 or more sanity and they wind up having a bout of madness, in some cases you can kind of help prevent them from acting out on that bout of madness with a psychoanalysis roll. So keep that in mind. That's one thing that psychoanalysis is good for. And I would imagine too, Dr. Van Helsing, when you wake up, the dark clouds are gone. There seems to be no threat of rain or thunder, God forbid.
It's cleared up. Can I climb down safely now?
Yes, it would definitely be a little safer.
I'll have beeline for me. So I'm basically roped up, and I'll climb down. So if he's got the safety rope.
Okay, well then give me a climb or a jump roll with a bonus die. There you go. All right, so you guys see Jean-Luc descend down into the volcano. And after about 20 minutes, he gets down to where the cave is. Jean-Luc, you get to the mouth of the cave. And just as you remember it, it's not a very large cave. It doesn't go very deep back in, but you walk in, you can see, the priest's sort of bedroll lying there. It's like a heap of discarded burlap and even some feathers in there. Remains of a fire that's still smoking a little bit. And, you kind of shine your light back into the back of the cave. There's no sign of the Tangata Manu.
I'll stoke the fire a little bit so it's going, and then I'll take a look around.
Okay.
I'll do like a spot hit, like unusual or.
Yeah, the only thing that's somewhat unusual is towards the back of the cave. It looks like a nest has been built. Like a bird's nest, but it's like the size of a kitchen table. And you can see like various, bits of cloth and twine in the nest, and it looks like it's fashioned out of like scrub, like tree branches. And you're looking at it with your flashlight, and you can see there's a couple feathers in there, and you kind of reach down and you pick up one of these feathers. And give me a natural world roll. Let's see if you can make a natural world roll.
Just normal feathers.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a kind of normal feather, but it's about 18 inches long.
I have
a big
whatever it's from, it's a large bird.
Keep that example.
Okay. But other than that, really nothing too unusual. The Tangata Manu lives very simply. You can see. Looks like he has some some kind of wild tea or something. There's these leaves in this pot. Just some scraps of food.
Basically, I'll take out a little piece of paper from my backpack, and I'll do a little sketch of the idol. Basically, a picture of Van Helsing, the best I can do, like smashing the crystal on it, and then thing with it exploding, basically. Draw basically the giant beast attacking the village.
Okay, cool.
And I'll leave it there.
Oh, you're leaving it there. Okay, cool. I see what you're doing.
If he comes back, I mean, there you go, man. What the hell?
You just draw it, and it just wiggles.
Yeah.
And then write a picture of you guys or of all of us running away.
Yeah. That actually.
Very well.
It just squiggles.
Jean-Luc, you find yourself every now and then as you're drawing this kind of, quickly. You're just kind of sketching it out, Every once in a while you kind of stop and you look at the skin on the back of your hand, and you look up your arm. You seem to be okay, Yeah, it's not happening to you so far.
Mm.
Just kind of remember last night.
Should we maybe take
Yeah.
a couple of those feathers just in case?
Just in case one of us actually knows.
Like, maybe someone.
I grabbed one.
Yeah, just have one. You know, no reason not to. Maybe Sam take a picture of the nest. You know, just.
Can I do an after world when you?
Wait, I thought only John Luke was down there.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
saying-
That's right. It is
And I-
only
and I-
Jean-Luc.
He picked up the feather, so it's all good. So after I do the sketch, I'll scale back up.
Okay. That's going to take another climb roll with a bonus die.
Oh yeah.
Boom. He's nailing it.
Wow, nice.
He
runs
gets
up
up there
like
in
a-
about 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Runs
you
up
don't
like a mountain goat.
you don't even need the bonus die. All right, so Jean-Luc leaps up the sheer cliff, and you guys are sitting up above at camp, and you see Jean-Luc emerge from the edge of the cliff of the volcano. You can see he's got a feather tucked into his breast pocket.
I look at the
These
feather.
feather people.
I take the feather.
You guys can all give me natural roll rolls.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it. I don't know if anybody here really specializes in that kind of thing. Oh yeah, Bear's with us.
Tommy
Oh
made it.
yeah,
Great. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Outdoors,
Bear.
right?
You have this great.
the green one, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I failed.
So Bear and Van Helsing, you can check those.
Cool.
You guys immediately recognize it as some species of eagle.
Hold on, I
Um,
pressed the wrong one.
all right, we'll go ahead and roll.
Eagle.
You can check it if you make it.
Oh,
Although, let's see who rolled better. Van Helsing rolled 25. Shit, I'm having trouble reading these dice rolls. Van Helsing rolled a 25. What did Bear roll?
46.
Oh, 46. Van Helsing, both of you recognize it as an eagle feather of some kind. But Van Helsing, you actually remember all of those biology classes and stuff from med school. It's actually a subspecies of eagle, something that the natives in Polynesia would call a sea eagle. They're kind of distantly related. Very rare species. But you estimate, both of you, Bear and Van Helsing, would estimate by the size of the feather, it must be a giant sea eagle, some kind of species unknown to man. It's just too large to be just a regular, sized eagle. Although they are pretty big, you would estimate, I don't know what those rolls, a wingspan of at least 18 or 20 feet. Maybe bigger.
Wow.
I tell everybody this. I explain, hey man, this is messed up. This thing's big.
Just, just another
Aloy's
thing
is
to
still
add,
confused.
to add to the messed up pile of messed up things we've seen in the last few days.
Well,
all
hopefully,
very-
if we're in trouble, look to the sky. Maybe this guy will fly in.
It's all very mysterious.
Hello, I am here to help in some way.
So the weather has improved today. It's kind of cloudy, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain anytime soon. There is a brisk wind coming from the west. Looking back towards the village, you don't see any signs of life. No smoke that you would normally see from cooking fires and such. But with binoculars, you can kind of get an outline of the village. You're not seeing any movement. Normally this time of day you'd see some fishing boats out there. There are none.
Take a look at the garrison at a distance.
Yeah, it looks like it's been damaged. It looks like it may be partially intact though. You see some of the larger buildings seem to have collapsed. There's sections of the wall that look severely damaged. It's kind of hard to say though. You're still pretty far away from it.
Can I
But it's
take a
definitely
look
taking
at
some
the
damage.
ship?
No sign of the ship looking out to the east where it was anchored. And normally you wouldn't be able to actually see the ship just with the binoculars. But there doesn't seem to be any sign of activity in Hangaroa village.
Go back to the garrison and see if the telegraph is still working.
Okay. So you guys are going to trek back. I'll say everybody can gain a hit point at this point.
I'm just gonna get my gun ready.
Of course. I'm always assuming that your gun is ready.
Yeah, after what we just went through.
All right, I'll tell
Oh,
you what.
I never let go of my gun. I've got my gun on me at all times.
I don't think anybody will question us in the village.
Why do you have?
What village?
Yeah,
Why do you have a
exactly.
gun?
Have you been killing sheep?
You kill giant creature?
So, Baron Aloysia, you find yourself while trekking back to the village. Occasionally, you feel the urge to just kind of look at your skin, and the parts of your body that you saw coming apart last night. But everything seems to be fine. There aren't any scars or pain or anything from what happened to you guys last night. But you do feel compelled to check every now and then.
I indulge myself. I don't hate myself for it either. It was bad.
Okay. So you guys get back to the village, and the closer and closer you get, you begin to see the carnage. My best estimates, you guys get a good kind of overlook of the village from a nearby hill as you're approaching. By your best estimate, there are hundreds, if not 1,000 or more dead lying about the village. The village has been completely destroyed. All of the natives' huts and structures are completely flattened. It looks like most of the wall in the military enclosure has been breached. Some of the larger buildings in the military enclosure have collapsed, although some of the smaller buildings seem to be somewhat intact. Pereira points out, that his office looks like it is partially there. So perhaps that's a sign, maybe the radio.
I yell out hello out to the village just to check.
In response, you hear silence. It's the wind blowing in your ears. So how about we take a quick 5-minute break here, and then we'll get back to the enclosure. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, let's
Sounds
take-
good.
That's good.
Spock is trying to
Break.
tell me that he's hungry because he's standing on top of me. So
All right, well, maybe better feed Spock.
That's a good sign. He's hungry.
I'm a kitty treat. All right, I'll be right back.
Fuck.
it does the eyebrow thing too.
All right, I'm back.
Now I am too.
Looking forward to the Wild West, guys.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I'm
Like
pumped
you,
for
like you
that.
said, Kyle. I heard Kyle telling Aiden is like we're talking about characters that we're gonna make for the Western. Kyle said something like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna live out my fantasy" or something like that. Like, and he winds up making a bounty hard boiled bounty hunter.
Yeah, man.
He
Yeah,
carries an
that's the
extra
Kyle
gun.
I know.
You can shoot someone in the back and then leave a gun on their dead body.
That's right. So yeah, because I mean, that's what Clint Eastwood would do.
Is it?
It is. He would just blow you away no matter what. You're getting shaved in a chair, bam, you're dead.
Yep. And then Alex's character is a mystic farmer. That should be interesting. Chinese guy.
Yeah.
Let's see, Lee made a two-fisted mountain man. And what did you make, Stuart? He was the swashbuckler or something, wasn't he? Let me
Yes,
see.
the ever so slightly Han Solo type guy.
Swashbuckler gambler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The swashbuckler man of honor type who doesn't always fit his type. He considers himself an ally to all women. His only fear is strong women.
Yeah, that's right. And then Aiden with this kind of quirky combination, but probably a pretty powerful combination, the scholar gunfighter. He's like
That is kind of an interesting combination.
He's like the murderous bookworm.
Yeah.
He knows stuff.
I kept trying to get Sabrina to join, but it doesn't sound like she wants to. For the Wild West one?
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man.
Which actually, do we have room for an extra person? Because I'm talking to one of my friends. I'm trying to get him into it. And it sounds like he might be able to play.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting kind of tight right now. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 right now. I think.
Wow. Okay.
7 would be max. Because you always have to kind of anticipate sometimes, like everybody's not going to be able to make it all the time.
No,
So,
right. Yeah.
But with 6 or 7 people, we can start getting a little burdensome at that point. Just from. But the thing is, the thing you have to remember with Pulp though too, we're going to be focused on a lot of action and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
When we get into combat, it kind of slows things down. So I don't know. To answer your question, I would say no, not at the moment. Maybe sometime in the future we could take more players, but especially if we, I actually have a plan on doing some one-shot adventures during the Western thing. I'm gonna actually kind of surprise you guys. I'm gonna do some little scenarios that will take 1 or 2 sessions, and I'm gonna have like pre-generated characters for those stories.
Okay,
and,
perfect.
They'll be just quick jaunts into the horror, of different settings, different times, different kind of things. So I have some plans for that.
I'll let Kevin know. We'll get him with the next one probably because we're getting full with this one.
Yeah, so we can have like some guest stars every now and then, and eventually maybe we can bring them in permanently. I'd have no problem with that.
Yeah, that might work.
All right, so are we there the next day? What happens?
Let's see how Malta's doing real quick. Let's see. All right, everybody seems to still be alive in Malta. That's good.
No one's off themselves on accident.
How's my box coming? Because the priest is trying to make another box.
Right. Yeah, it's coming.
With, my character, he's helping.
It's kind of slow going, but it's coming. It takes time.
I know. I know. So bummed we had to blow up the other one in Hollywood.
I know. Yeah, you'll be lucky if you have a 3rd gate box in this campaign. Let me just put it that way.
I know.
All right, so here's the deal. Is everybody back? Lee, are you back? Sam, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Roll call.
Is Aiden your back?
I'm back.
Negative. Oh, good. Oh, please, or
What?
Stuart's back. Okay.
All right. So you guys get back to the village, and as you're approaching the gate to the enclosure, the gate has been just completely crushed and shattered. And looking at the scene about you, you can see the bodies everywhere, just scattered, broken and mangled. It's almost like a gigantic fist came out of the sky and just crushed the entire area. The village has been virtually flattened, and there are just hundreds and hundreds of bodies, and you can see the swarms of flies. I'm going to require a sanity check from everybody except for, well, let's see, I'm just going to pick out Van Helsing won't need to. Who else is a World War I veteran? Johnny?
Yes.
I am.
Clark?
I think Sam was
Baby
there, too.
burn.
And Aloysius.
I'm part of the underworld. I mean,
Yeah, all right. I'll let you guys get away with no sanity rolls for this. It's pretty horrifying, though, I'm sure you can imagine.
I got an
Yeah, I'm a doctor.
extreme.
Yeah,
Is anybody alive? Does anybody need doctoring? Or are they all dead?
They're all dead, Dr. Van Helsing. I mean, this is, even worse than the meeting hall at Look to the Future in New York. I mean, it's a virtual. It's not even like a bloodbath. It's almost like what you would expect to see after a catastrophic natural disaster.
Jonestown.
You can even see bodies floating out, on the beach. You do see, your dinghies out there, your rowboat, and all of the outrigger canoes that the natives use for fishing.
What about our blimp?
You're looking around for the prophecy. You don't see it yet.
Uh-oh.
So you have to kind of wonder if Devlin survived. Anyway, you get inside.
That Devlin.
He is.
Can
He's a
I
hard man.
shoot a flare right into the sky?
Absolutely. Not a bad idea, I must say. So Elisha pulls out and shoots up a distress flare. And as you guys enter the military enclosure, you can see Pereira's office. The main building of the garrison is half in ruin. And as you guys kind of get into the rubble, you can see that Pereira's office, where the radio is, seems to be somewhat intact. You see some of the radio equipment has kind of been toppled to the floor. There's wires and shit. But does anybody have any electronic skills or anything like that? Mechanical skills? Does anybody even know how to work a radio or a telegraph?
I have a pretty high electronic repair. I have a 40.
Breaker
Okay,
one.
so there you go.
That is high.
All right, let's put John Luke to work on the radio here, and then we'll make some other rolls. The first thing Pereira does with his 3 soldiers, they hit the armory and they bring out some weapons. Okay, you can keep trying that over time, Lee, but at the moment, the radio looks intact. It's just a matter of kind of rewiring the power source. It looks like you may have to, check the generator outside and everything too, and make sure that's working. So you can start working on that if you like. But Pereira brings out some weapons. He's got several 38 revolvers.
I take one revolver.
Bolt-action rifles, and he actually breaks out 2 cases. Each case has a Thompson submachine gun.
I take Thompson the submachine gun as well.
Okay, and Pereira arms himself with the other.
Dildo, right? Submachine gun.
What's that?
A specific skill, right?
Yeah, you do need the submachine gun skill to be effective with that. Oh, and by the way, that reminds me, Stuart, the base, or anybody who uses a sword, I know Aiden, you use a sword too, the enchanted blade. The base percent for sword fighting is 20, not 15.
Oh, okay.
So you should add 5 to whatever you have if you have a sword skill. That's including you, Tom, because I think we've been doing 15% the whole time. I think that's from the old rules, and I was just going by memory.
Okay.
I just kind of was looking at some weapon tables recently.
What do you call it? Does that go for the Old West one too?
Do I
Then?
have to do that?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, okay. Well then,
I've got a 37.
yeah, I've got 5 extra points to play with. Look at that.
Well,
Do I add?
you have to put it towards sword, yeah.
Well, but I've already got my sword at 90 on that one.
Okay.
Hey, it's all about breaking the game by exploiting numbers, man. That's. I'll probably stick it in stealth then, or maybe not stealth. Maybe something with what do you call it? Oh, dodge. That's what I need. I'll put those extra 5 into dodge.
All right, that's fine. I'll allow that. So 2, 4. So as you guys are milling about in Pereira's office, and checking out his wares, his weapons that he brings out, he's got plenty of ammo as well. Aloysia, you find yourself kind of looking through some of the junk and shit that's spread around in this office. It's been half destroyed. It's all cluttered, broken furniture. You find this folder underneath one of the chairs, and it looks like it's full of messages translated from Morse code. And it looks like this is like one of the radio operators' record books or something like that. You're kind of looking at it, and you notice in the back of the book, the last page appears to show some dates corresponding to last night. It has yesterday's date and a time of about 10:30 p.m. And these communications, and they say they're from the Chilean consulate, Santiago, to some Chilean Navy officer. And there are about 3 pages, well, about 2 pages actually, of a message from the Chilean consulate. Seems to be talking something about seismographs, something about how Chile has recalled the O'Higgins and its escort, and some other stuff. Your English is not very good.
I am terrible.
Yeah.
I show this to the others.
These messages go on to say, looks like some scientific research has been going on, having to do with the Chilean Navy, and their seismographs indicate some kind of underwater activity, and they give these coordinates, and you guys kind of reference a map on the wall here to look. Looks like it's maybe about 1,000 miles south of Easter Island. These seismographs indicate underwater activity, and it says that the commander of the Chilean Navy feels that it would be inappropriate to send naval vessels to investigate the matter just now, given tensions continue to run high with Chile's neighbors, especially Bolivia. And it kind of gives you the impression, it looks like the Chilean Navy would like to keep, as the naval commander says, keep all ships close at hand, the message says. It goes on to say that the O'Higgins and its escort has been recalled to Chile. And it even goes on to say that some of the scientific officials in the Navy wish that the science guys call them sea quakes, and they go on to talk about how they would like it investigated. Professors from the University of Santiago are speculating that seismic activity heralds the rising of a new island, it says.
Uh-oh.
Well, that would be exciting, except for it's filled with more of the things we saw last night, so that's bad.
Yeah, that's
Right, let's go there.
That's bad.
Rising of a new island. Could it be Riley?
And it goes on to say, if so, naturally, the naval commanders want Chile's territorial rights to be asserted over any new land, whether or not it is colonizable, it says. Of course, they're talking about colonizing at this point. They don't know what happened on Easter Island, obviously. And it goes on. There's some personal messages actually to Captain Pereira. Pereira takes interest in these. It looks like Pereira says that the Chilean Navy, under the circumstances, would like to commission you to survey and investigate the seaquakes. And it goes on to say that they've been in contact also, with the Vatican. And the Vatican has, it looks like it's kind of read between the lines kind of a thing, but what you guys think is perhaps they contacted the Vatican about this. They suggested that you guys, Jean-Luc, Van Helsing, and the other guys, they wish for you guys to actually survey the area of the seaquakes. Of course, for their purposes, because they would like to claim the island as their own.
They want us to do it?
Ironically. Yeah.
I would ask, when we get that telegraph online, we tell them the event, except without the giant...
Yeah, where's our boat?
About the insane stuff, all gone, just... Put just hey, everyone's dead. You should come over here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get that radio fixed first.
So did I understand the one message said that that our ship that was coming has been recalled?
Yes, the O'Higgins, the Chilean cruiser that you guys
got us here? That we were expecting.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the Chilean cruiser you guys had encountered once before. Apparently they've recalled that along with its escort back to Chile. So last minute kind of thing. Apparently, that sucks. You're not expecting the O'Higgins to save you. As far as your vessel, the Esmeralda, it's really you'd have to row out there, I guess, to see.
Our only hope is if somehow the got saved.
The Birdman fly us out there?
Our captain was able to escape.
How did we get on the island? We got on with that airboat, right? Or the
we had our own large vessel, which apparently has been scuttled to the sea floor. Then we had our small little boats, but that's all we have is our small little boats.
Did the Zeppelin have the capacity to? And I'm sorry if somebody already asked this question, but it seems relatively obvious. Did the Zeppelin have the capacity to receive a Morse code message or radio once we get this thing up and going?
No.
Also, the Zeppelin is dead.
Says Aloysia.
Is it?
Is it? Do we know that?
Oh,
No, we don't know that yet.
Aloysia, the Russian, he's always very pessimistic.
It is dead. Get over it.
It is dead, I tell you.
It is dead.
They're all dead.
He believes we should swim there.
Yes, there is swimming involved.
Yeah. So
if there's any other vessels available.
Yeah. So as Jean-Luc's working on the radio and everybody else is kind of discussing what the hell is going on and how we're going to get out of here. Not 9 hours, 10 hours from now, it's going to be night again.
I'm just gonna walk away from it and just start watching out into the coast.
Okay, you do. You can see the bodies floating out there.
Wonderful.
Oh, it looks like the sharks. Looks like the sharks are feasting today.
How far?
Going for a late night swim. Yeah.
Sean, how far are these coordinates from the island that we're on? How long would it take to get there? And could we row there?
According to the nautical map on the wall, it's about 1,000 miles.
1,000 miles?
Yes.
1,000 miles?
Yeah, dude. We have to have a serious vessel. That's what. Yeah.
So we're not taking the dinghy.
remember, as far as the Chileans know,
We're
you
not
guys
taking a dinghy.
have a refitted Chilean military transport.
So we need to contact somebody and let them know.
Yeah, our ship has been scuttled. We need a new one.
And that everyone is dead.
What about what's his name? The military guy. The
Pereira.
Yeah.
Captain Pereira, yeah.
Pereira.
He's alive, right?
He is, and 3 of his soldiers are with you as well.
Does he have any ideas on how to contact his senior officials and whatnot?
Yeah, he could use the radio.
Yeah.
Not really. That's what the radio guy was for. I mean, he could help fix it if you guys can get it fixed. He knows. He's probably the only one of you that actually knows Morse code. But yeah, you're gonna have to get the radio fixed. It's gonna take some time.
Okay.
It's gonna take Jean-Luc, to at least into the afternoon. Looks like the radiator or the generator needs some repairs as well.
There's also a radiator.
And the radiator also.
It is completely destroyed. You have to completely fix it.
All right, so since we're kind of depending on that at this point, let's Jean-Luc, let's have an afternoon electronics roll. I'm gonna say that maybe Bear's help. Well, you don't want Bear to help you. He's kind of got butterfingers.
Yeah, no, I might just disintegrate it.
But we'll say somebody's helping you, so we'll give you a bonus die on that, Lee. So roll again, since you got some help. Maybe Pereira knows a little bit of electronics. He's a
roll green or green this time.
Just roll green again. We'll take the better result. Hopefully, it's better than 92.
Oh, good. There you go.
All right, there you go.
Boom, baby, boom.
All right. So later that afternoon, Jean-Luc gets the radio rigged up, and it seems to be working. You power it on, and so you can communicate 2 different ways. There's a shortwave radio. I know we're kind of bending reality here. It has a somewhat limited range. It's more for naval communications within the vicinity, within several hundred miles or so. Then there's the telegraph, which is hardwired to Chile, basically.
Tell them
Should do a general call, 100-mile radius for any vessel to come to assist us, and then we can actually telegraph the mainland.
You do.
SOS.
Yeah, you put out the SOS with no immediate response.
SOS, like multiple.
Yeah,
we do it through radio as well, saying that everyone
telegraph the military.
Yeah, exactly. Have Pereira contact his people.
Okay. Yeah, so you get Pereira on the radio, and he's sending out SOS, over and over repeatedly. About 5 minutes go by, and there's no response. So Pereira kind of looks at you. You look at him. Van Helsing looks at Jean-Luc. And then
I take pictures of everyone looking at everyone.
And then Pereira sits down at the telegraph and starts rapping out some Morse code. At that point, you guys start hearing this buzzing sound.
Uh-oh.
It's like voo. You hear it, and you're like, "What's that?" And you guys kind of stand up. You kind of step out through the crumbled door. You have to stoop down, and you look up, and you hear it. It's the Zeppelin. Sounds like it's coming from the east. You can hear the whine of its turbine motors.
Wait.
It saw your flare, dude.
Boom, baby.
It's our Zeppelin? We have people on our Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Stuart Devlin, that's all you need, baby.
Yeah, as you guys get out in the open, you can see it.
You saw it before.
It's about 5,000 feet. It's pretty high up there, but you can see it coming in from the south.
Awesome.
It's the Prophecy.
I give everyone a shot of vodka.
And you said it was dead.
Is that the name of our is that the name of the Zeppelin? The Prophecy?
Yeah.
Good. It's not dead.
The name of it is You Said It Was Dead.
Yeah, it's the HMS Prophecy. It's flying British colors. So you guys, as you guys watch, you can see the Zeppelin begins to descend towards the southern end of the island. And as it approaches the village,
Nice.
You guys can see up there, you got your binoculars out looking up there. You can see Devlin hanging over the rail. Looks like he's got some men with him. And as he comes down, you guys know that, the Zeppelin needs to be tethered, and there's a process for it that Devlin taught you guys. So you begin preparing, to anchor the Zeppelin as they throw down the tethers, and you get it tied down, and Devlin, lands the Zeppelin close near the east side of the village there, out in the farmlands.
I give a Russian salute.
He salutes you back with a British salute. And he says, "What happened?"
Let's say hell.
Johnny Law can tell you.
You want me to? Yes, I can. Well, you see,
Give him the photos.
at first it was gray.
Everybody starts talking at once.
At first it was gray, but then it was lighter gray. Then,
Yeah, he's kind of looking at you, Johnny, and you see your bloody bandages all over. Is he okay?
Somewhat.
More or less. I've been worse.
Still good.
All right, so he gets up, he shakes all your hands. You can see he's got a crew of 5 with him.
As you can see,
the 5.
everyone is dead.
The 5 Chilean sailors.
With the ship.
And he tells you, he says last night, the Esmeralda was attacked by a large number of deep ones. He said, me and the boys were able to rig the Zeppelin and get away pretty quickly. But we were overwhelmed. There were at least 80 or 100 of them. He says we were attacked by something else. And then he kind of turns away, kind of turns his head away from me as he says something else.
Sounds like your night went a lot like ours. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got some medicine for that.
Yeah, he solemnly nods when you say that, Johnny. He says, "Medicine? No. You got any scotch?"
Of
I think
course.
the Russian has vodka.
I give him vodka and tell him story.
Yeah, but he says I scouted it out this morning. There's no sign of the Esmeralda. It's gone.
About the battle in the cave with the evil god, and having to scale and insane, crazy.
And we spent a lot of time on that 18-inch feather we found too.
Well, he listens to your story with much interest. The crew does as well, although some of them don't speak very good English. But basically, Devlin suggests, once you guys sit around for a half hour drinking some scotch and telling your stories, he suggests getting the hell out of here.
Head towards the. Can we make it? The Zeppelin.
Yeah, he says. Hopefully, there's some fuel left in this place, and Pereira's like, yeah, we, the fuel depot. So Devlin and his boys start working on that, getting some fuel, supplies, any extra food or water that can be rounded up would be good. He says currently with we're full on fuel, but we've got a range of about 2,500 nautical miles.
We only need to go 1,000.
Yeah, so with a little extra fuel, we want to be able to make sure that wherever we go, we want to back to South America or Chile or wherever we're going for
I tell him a story.
Refuel.
I show him the map. This is where we need to go. I put my finger down.
Show him village.
Here.
Yeah, him and his men are actually quite shocked, with the surroundings. It's a freaking slaughter. It's a massacre. And he seems to be pretty intent on leaving as soon as possible by, before nightfall, he says.
I smack him.
Well, that may not be a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
And do a psychoanalysis on him.
Yeah, he says, I'm sure that, we're surrounded by these deep ones, and, we don't want to give them any reason to call upon us, he says.
We all
Take the nautical map from the office and say, this is where we need to go, man. Triangulate on this, and let's get out of here.
Got it.
we get his money. We help him gather the supplies we need.
So,
Mhm.
like, can I do a psychology test on him?
No, I mean, you've actually met Stuart Devlin. You've been you took the journey from Malta with him, Aiden.
Yes.
So you've known him. You know him pretty well. He's of Devlin's exploits. He's a longtime friend of the group, whether personally or by association.
We get the supplies together, man.
Get everything. Get the machine.
So, guys, envision we're going to be in the Zeppelin casting spells, hanging over the edge as this island comes up from the water.
That's what it sounded like.
That's what I'm envisioning here. So we need to be spell ready.
With
We can't.
cruisers
can we
as
carry,
well, you know.
Can we carry a couple boats, Sean?
Your dinghy is still on shore. Yeah, it's like a 8 or 10 man dinghy. With
Grab that, put that on the Zeppelin in case we need a boat.
the Zeppelin has one actually.
Okay.
It has a similar dinghy attached to it. Yep.
Are we gonna meet up with a cruiser or a destroyer?
Once we get the radio working, send coordinates to Father McBride and the Pope and everybody else, and give them these coordinates. We are going here. Message received. Yeah. We're heading here.
Right. Pereira has sent out some telegrams to that effect, letting everybody know what has happened.
Okay.
And we communicate that to the second wave, basically.
Right.
Yep.
Through the back channels, anyway. And just before you guys are ready to leave, Pereira quietly informs you guys that he got a new radiogram from Santiago, and they're saying that apparently 3 tramp freighters, manned by lower caste types, he says, left from Puerto Montt a day ago, bound for the area of the Seaquakes. And it's known by the Chilean government that the crews, or the owners of these ships, these tramp steamers, have bad reputations. And the Navy officers are fearing that the freighters' crews may try to claim any emerging island for a rival South American power. And they're worried that maybe the crews might try to loot any island ruins or perform some other sinister acts.
Dude, now we know.
Tell them to send every cruiser and every little ship you have towards us.
So again, even telling the Chilean government, like, hey, Easter Island was attacked, everybody's dead, all this stuff. The Chilean government comes back and says, well, we're worried about these pirates. We're going to go out to these islands and claim it or loot it. So we need you guys to claim it for Chile, kind of thing. They're still saying
Thanks,
this.
Chile. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they're still on the political bullshit level.
All right, if you don't send any troops or any
what's his name?
We will
What's his name is on these things?
Embargoes on every single thing from the Vatican City.
Mm-hmm.
And
who's our arch?
Send a crusade towards you.
Who's our arch nemesis? What's his name?
Carl Stanford.
Yeah, Carl Stanford. Carl Stanford and his gang are with these pirates, dude.
Absolutely,
and that's how he gets.
Of course.
We need every single vessel.
So what do we have to bomb ships
from
the sky
right now?
Can we make Molotov cocktails and drop them on boats from above?
Well,
over machine guns, man. Machine guns.
Yeah, as far as firepower, I mean, really, what you have, and remember, Devlin's always warning you guys. This is hydrogen, okay? And the Zeppelin.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, as far as firepower, you have 2, dual-mounted Browning machine guns, one in the fore and one in the aft. So you've got 4 Browning machine guns. Other than that, it's small arms, more or less. You probably have a pretty good supply of dynamite. And the entire Cthulhu kit that you guys have been traveling with, well, I wouldn't say the entire Cthulhu kit, but most of it would be on the Prophecy for sure. There's all kinds of, backups for small arms. He's got a Browning automatic rifle, a couple Tommy guns.
Try to tell him to send a message to bring every ship.
Oh yes, he's definitely sent out the distress signal. But they're coming back now, worried about these pirates claiming the island.
Yeah, they know that there's a problem, and they're just being political about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go towards all right, we will go there, only if you come along with us. With 2 cruisers.
Yeah, no word of them sending any naval support at this point. And, you can kind of get their reasoning from the previous telegrams. They're getting some political pressure from their neighbors in South America, like Bolivia. So they don't want to become directly involved in it right now. And, with the agreement of the Vatican, or probably even the Vatican's suggestion, read between the lines, suggesting that you guys investigate it, that you guys survey the sea quakes.
When do we think the second wave? When do we think the second wave is going to arrive, Sean? Estimated time of arrival for that crew?
They should be 5 or 6 days behind you. Maybe less. It's really going to depend on their mode of transportation, isn't it?
Let's say we tell them that we're going to go for the nearest island towards the coordinates and wait them out there.
Is there an island near the coordinates to even wait at? I think it's just it, man. I think this is Riley.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is. That's where it's rising. And that's why Carl Stanford is on the pirate ship. He's going there to cast a spell to raise it. We got to go there to cast a spell to unraise it.
Yep.
Yeah, at full speed, the Prophecy can reach the coordinates in a little less than 2 days. With good weather, anyway.
If we can intercept those ships and drop some dynamite down the smokestack,
blow those ships out of the water.
Yeah, blow them. Yep.
Throw everything at them.
Well, here's the thing, though. If the ships are filled with cultists, Carl Stanford, right? And if we can get to the island before them.
Well, let me
island before.
Okay, so when you guys first got to Easter Island, you had reports that the Chilean government was seeking Carl Stanford for questioning in relation to some murders that happened in Chile, and this was about a week ago. You guys arrived on Easter Island, so it's been about 7 days, and it was known at that time that Carl Stanford had departed Santiago, Chile. Before that. Right around the time, actually maybe a little after or a little before you guys departed Santiago. So it would be safe to say that these steamships, these tramp steamers going out of Santiago 3 days ago are different ships. It's probably not Carl Stanford, maybe related. But the way they describe the captains of these freighters, they're known pirates. And bad reputations, and they're of course worried about them doing looting the island if there's ruins on it. The understanding is that with the esoteric overtones, the Chilean government understands this, the Vatican understands this. If they're really worried, like there may be some archaeological discoveries to be had on this island. If not,
they'll be discovering.
They definitely want to claim it for themselves if they can. They want you guys to claim it for them. And Captain Pereira is with you. And this is apparently the mission that they've given him, is to seek your assistance. And that's what they're asking. He tells you guys this quietly just as you're about to leave.
Right.
Is he coming with us?
Yes.
Get your 3 other men. and arm yourself and bring everything that you can get.
Yeah, you guys are definitely armed to the teeth here.
Become more armed to the teeth.
So as far as the pirates are concerned, if they want to try to loot Riley, yeah, I say we let them try.
I go
I
up to
feel
each one
like
of these.
I feel
Probably
like
cultists.
they're definitely cultists.
I go,
I would tend to agree, but it sounds like the cultists might, even if there are cultists on it, it sounds like they are just pirates. Unless you think just
Two groups.
Stanford would go there on his own, and then
Can we do like an intelligence check?
No, I'm sure they have an advanced party.
Yeah, maybe Aiden.
And a bunch of your high-powered wizards are already probably there, right?
Yeah,
Or
now
at
from
least
what-
in the vicinity.
Right, that's what I was just going to say. So, what you guys know of the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight, Carl Stanford may be one of their leaders, but since your first excursions in Boston, finding out about these guys, they're a worldwide organization, and the leaders of the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight call themselves the Masters of the Silver Twilight. And
Flunkies, man.
yeah, so you know that there are more than one, Carl Stanford being one of them.
Okay.
Um,
So there might be
The
then
high-powered
some of these
guys
guys on
there.
these boats.
Can we do like a check to see?
Maybe. I don't know, I'm just going to kind of remind you guys of some of the stuff that's happened during the campaign here. You guys also know of his flunkies, Lee, as you mentioned, personally. At least some of the characters in this campaign knew Barry Pollard, who was one of the sons of Yog Sothoth. Max Reed, who was apparently Carl Stanford's bodyguard. He killed Eusephus Braun. Let's see. Who was that other guy?
So either way you look at it, whether there's cultists or not, even if they're not cultists, they're pirates, and there would be no objection to simply blowing the boats out of the water with 3 sticks of dynamite.
Yeah, or both cultists and pirates.
yeah, they all gotta die.
Yeah, we'll just kill them anyway. Yeah.
Let's hang out together.
But this sounds like it's a world jamboree, it's like a Call of Cthulhu world jamboree, and everybody's coming to the party, man.
That makes a lot of
So getting
sense.
there,
Yeah.
getting there first is right. Getting there as quickly as we can is probably.
Yeah, hopefully not including the star spawn that you guys witnessed last night.
That would be the preference for sure.
Is he like hanging underneath the Zeppelin? What was that movie?
I don't know.
Swimming around following it.
car.
Yeah.
I know, Dr. Van Helsing, you're looking. Down there.
I
definitely
questioned
look
the
over the
doctor.
edge.
Yeah, and you're looking out for the thunderheads. You're looking for dark clouds. You're expecting it to start storming any second now. Although
Make sure we have a good set of earmuffs for Tom.
I
Ooh, that's a
questioned
good
the
idea.
doctor.
Yeah, Van Helsing's like talking to Jean-Luc like during the day as you guys are, you guys embark on your journey. You guys are up and seeing Van Helsing's talking to Jean-Luc about how he just, the thunder, like he can't handle it anymore. Like if it starts storming, I'm going to freak out, and I just want to let you know, keep the morphine handy, kind of a thing. He would realize at this point that there's some screws loose again. He's feeling his sanity slipping away again. He knows that feeling, so he's taking precautions.
We fashioned some earmuffs for him, man. Like serious.
What, like, can I do
some
like
sort
a
of pad or earmuffs?
When that
I'll
happens?
try 'em. And I make a bunch of pre-dosed syringes ready to go.
So
it's already
basically SOP.
I'm looking at Van Helsing's spells here. Powder of Ibn Ghazi. He knows a lot of spells. Powder of Ibn Ghazi, Elder Sign, Banish Dark Child, Resurrection, Command Area.
Banish Dark Child. Banish Dark Child?
Banish Dark Child, yeah. Remember the Dark Child days with Eusephus Braun? Poor Eusephus.
He died.
Yeah.
So what we saw was not a Dark Child. I could not have.
No, the Banished Dark Child thing for you, Van Helsing, is kind of a legacy thing. That kind of was before your time, but it kind of bled over into your life when you met Eusephus Braun and Jacob Crowninshield after their Honduras expedition.
Yep.
Yeah, but Eusephus was haunted by this Dark Child creature.
Oh, that's right. I remember. Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he also knows Blessed Blade. So he's got quite a few spells there. I was looking to see, but I think you were cured of your other manias, phobias. So you just have the one phobia now.
Yeah.
Can I
the other
cure
one.
him?
No, that's going to take months of.
Yeah,
treatment.
over time. Yeah, I mean, even to start treating him, Maiden, with psychiatric care, I mean, a month has to pass, and it has to be like, constant therapy kind of a thing. In this kind of a setting, traveling in the HMS Prophecy over the Pacific Ocean towards the Island of Death, it's probably not a good
Also,
time for someone to be healing their sanity in any way, shape, or form.
That brings me up. What is going to be the plot for the pulp?
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, we'll find out. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise. Oh, I told you kind of the basis of it is a.
I hope.
It's a Texas Family Feud. Your
And
classic
old man, I
Texas
did fill you in on
feud, yeah.
the idea, right?
Oh yeah. We'll do that. Yeah.
The Van Helsing estate.
Yep.
It would make the whole
It would connect everything together. The timeline really.
So really, I'm seeing two other issues here as well. Dr. Van Helsing, you're still badly burnt and beat up from the encounter down in the cave of the evil god. And Johnny Law, also, you have some severe internal damage going on here.
I have a dice on me.
Can Van Helsing and someone else try to heal him again?
No, it's just going to be natural healing from here on out. So.
Yeah, I guess there's no cure light wounds in this game, huh?
Right. But good news is it'll take a couple of days to get there. So a little bit of healing will happen. So the voyage.
It goes terribly.
Okay. Weather remains good.
Yay!
Everybody can gain back 2 hit points if you're still low. So everybody get back 2.
Okay. 2, okay.
All right. So a couple of days pass. Traveling south from Easter Island, it's just ocean as far as the eyes can see. The late afternoon, early evening, second day, you begin coming close to the coordinates. And
I look around.
Yep, in the distance, you can see for miles and miles away. You guys are flying, pretty high. You begin to see some smoke. And Devlin says that he's looking through his ultra spyglass, and he says he spotted some ships, 2 of them. They appear to be transports of some kind.
Now it's time, boys. Let it
And
rain.
as you guys start getting closer, you begin to see this black landmass several miles beyond the ships. As the clouds, as you guys come through a cloud, you see it. And it's this island that looks like it's entirely made of this black volcanic looking rock. And you can see it's almost like a mountaintop, like the peak of a mountain rising up out of the ocean. And as you get closer, you see the horrible black and slimy tip of the mountain thrusting up out of the ocean. And you can see off the east coast of the island, about a mile offshore, you see 2 ships anchored. And as you get a closer look, you can see that much of the island, the rocky parts of it, you can see like drippy seaweed hanging over rocky outcroppings, and bloated sea creatures lying around like this muck all over the shore of the island. And notably, I mean, you guys, Devlin kind of says under his breath, as you guys understand, he says, it looks like it's only been raised for a few hours. And you see strikingly, thousands of huge stone buildings and monuments in black or green stone. And they're just enormous. I mean, just gigantic. Some of these towers on the island look like they're like 1,000 feet tall, maybe higher. Big cyclopean buildings. And the geometry of them is odd. They kind of twist and turn at odd angles. And it's really odd because as you're looking at it from one angle and as the ship travels looking at it from a different angle, the island's geometry in these buildings, it seems to be just cut right out of the rock. These buildings take on almost like a blurry shifting shape. Especially you notice if you kind of look at it in your peripheral vision a little bit, there's something not right about there's something unearthly about it.
Right.
They're just kind of horrible to look at, actually. So as everybody sees the terrible
Casting a spell.
So as everyone sees the terrible corpse city of Relay for the first time, I need a sanity roll.
Dude, I'm casting a spell. No. Oh.
I want to get everyone ready. If I
All right, everybody gets a sanity roll.
Yay!
All right. Ooh, by 1 point.
Oh, no. Again. Wait, the green button or the gray button?
Sanity
button's
rolls.
fine.
Sanity rolls.
Damn.
Yeah,
Boom,
sanity
baby.
rolls.
Here we go.
There you go.
All right.
Green.
Gotta find it. I just saw it. Where'd it go? There it is. Green button.
How many
right?
people? How many people know this spell?
Yeah. No.
Can I rally them?
Can you what?
Can I rally them to get ready to attack those ships?
Oh yeah. So what are you saying?
We bombing
Like-
ships.
The Russian shouts.
We must attack now. Well, we have to.
We
Time.
know we have to get to a portion of the monolith, or that's what Bear is looking for. He's scanning for that item that we
Yes.
saw.
I get
Where we need to cast where we need to cast the counter spell.
Sure.
Wait, we have to be at somewhere to cast a spell?
We have to be on relay to cast it
How do you know that?
because
I yell.
That's what Dr. Underbook related to us in his long.
I
Oh.
yell
How
at
we had to.
Yeah, the
everyone to get ready to kill some cultists.
No, we need to find this pillar. Where do we need to go to cast this thing then?
No, we can kill half of them already.
well, I mean, killing. We're
Want
gonna have
half
to
of
kill.
the power?
Alucia, for sure, we're going to kill cultists. We're going to have to clear our way to this thing, but in order to stop this impending horror on the world, we've got to get to this. I think it's this monolith.
A blue monolith, I think.
Correct.
Yep.
Dr. Underbook surmised from the writings in the Necronomicon that the reverse of the spell must be cast from atop the blue monolith.
A blue monolith.
Let's go, man. All right.
All right. So first, Tom
I
and
get
Stuart
prepared.
failed your sanity checks. I need a D8. And you guys who made it, roll a D3 for sanity loss from seeing the corpse city of Relay for the first time.
Yeah, boy.
And we'll just for effect, we'll take you over
Yay.
here.
1.
1. Nice.
Okay.
Whoop. All right, so there's a little facsimile. Yeah, and so everybody else rolls a D3. All right, nobody lost 5 or more. That's good. You guys have been rolling good on the sanity checks. I'm surprised.
Except for Tom.
Yeah, but when I take it, it's slow.
Yep. That's good. You're going to want to save your sanity for this shit.
Yep.
All right. So actually, let me pull in everybody's tokens real quick. So, Bear, you're looking for the blue monolith, and you guys are still, a couple miles up. You're kind of looking down on this. You can see the little specks of the ships down there. So you're still pretty far away. But with the binoculars, you can see these buildings. You're looking for the blue monolith, but it's not quite apparent yet. Devlin will have to start his descent.
Can I take the eyeglass and look at the ships?
Sure. Yeah, as you guys descend,
Two people need to get on one machine gun each, and everybody else needs to look for the monolith.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at the ships to see what's going on. So, is there any checks?
No, not for looking. The ships appear to be just steamers. They're not military. They appear to be transport ships, 2 of them. Kind of medium sized. They're not really that big. But you can see the smoke rolling out of their smokestacks. They're oil-powered ships. 2 of them. You're not seeing really any activity on board at the moment as you're descending.
Can we spot hidden for the monolith?
Not yet.
How can we open fire on these boats? Are they too far?
They're too far yet.
Okay.
I mean, Devlin's kind of wanting to know what the plan is. What approach should we take here?
Full steam ahead. Find the monolith, and we'll drop in by rope. And drop on top of the monolith.
As soon as we can find a monolith, that's going to be where we want to be.
Yeah, okay. Hover right over it, and we'll just lower us down to the top of it, and we'll start casting the spell.
All right. You guys have about an hour of daylight left, maybe a little bit longer.
I get ready to dismantle the holding
rifle skills.
Take the scope and look for the monolith.
Yeah, as you guys get closer, you can see the water around the edge of this island appears to be kind of oily looking, like there's some kind of petroleum floating in the water around. And as you get close to the ships, no one seems to be aboard either of the ships. And as you're getting a closer look at the island, here, I'll show you a map. Let's do the map. You see the central peak on the island. As I said, it's almost like a mountain rising up water where there's a central peak. Here. On top of the peak, you see this gigantic monument. And you can see some activity around the jagged cliffs surrounding the monument. And you can see, it looks like there's some people up there, up near the top of the peak.
Can we shoot one of them?
Dozens. You're still a mile away at this point. Yeah, the ships look uninhabited, but you can definitely see there are some people up there near that, whatever that thing is on top of that mountain peak. It's this gigantic building that looks like, 300 feet tall. It's sort of like this jagged looking building. It doesn't even have straight edges. It kind of, there's semicircular curves, and then there are jagged kind of stones sticking out of it. And as you guys get a little closer, you realize that building appears to have a set of doors installed in the front of it. And again, they're kind of semicircular looking, and they kind of meet together in this strange way. But these doors have to be at least, over 100 feet tall.
Ooh.
And this is where you can see the activity. You see dozens and dozens. Now that you're closer, you're getting a better look. Dozens and dozens of naked people, moving in these sort of flowing patterns. It looks like they're dancing or something up there. And you're still quite a ways away. But
naked people.
Yeah, you can see all these naked people like dancing around in front of this gigantic door at the top of this peak.
I ask the group if they recognize any of them.
Cultists, they must be destroyed.
They are cultists.
That's a good guess.
They must be destroyed.
You guys can see now as you're losing altitude, you guys get down just 400 or 500 feet off the surface, and you've got the ships off to your right over here, 400 yards offshore or so. And you can see now that the island continues down into the water, and around the edge, around the shore of the island, you can see other buildings kind of jutting up out of the sea around this island. So there are more structures underwater down there. It looks like this is just the tip of some kind of ancient alien city, that you guys know is the sunken island of Relay. And again, the geometry of this place is not right. It's almost hard to look at. So what we're going to do here is, using this map, we're going to plot
Machine gun rifle skills. The 30 cals.
here. I'll mark up some lines
Yeah,
here.
you really don't need a rifle skill for the 30 cal.
If it was, I have a 75 in it.
The geometry of these buildings is so weird and confusing to look at, Bear. You're looking for the blue monolith. Like, where's the blue? It's all black and it's all green. There's no blue. You're like, what the fuck? You're not seeing any blue monolith, whatever that is. But it's, again, the buildings. Some of these buildings are so big and gigantic that it's really hard to see. Even from a bird's eye view, it's hard to see the exact layout or the structure of the city. It has no rhyme, no reason. It seems to be almost organic in a way, almost as if these buildings were grown rather than built. It's very strange.
I'm trying to recall if there's anything that...
Definitely, Riley.
Milligram had said that a lot of the brethren are susceptible to bullets. So actually we can mow down all these cultists with these 50 calibers.
Yeah, they're 30 calibers, but that'll work too.
30 cal, whatever.
I feel like we're going to meet something we should not be meeting.
It says Aloysia.
If we don't sink this island, we are definitely going to meet something we shouldn't meet.
But I feel like there might be an entity. Can I spot hidden anything?
Nope. Pretty much described what you guys see.
We have to go through the door, man.
Can I? Is there any listen or anything on them?
All you hear is the wind in your ears and the whine of the turbines and the Zeppelin.
I get ready to dismantle the machine gun from its post.
Okay. So Devlin kind of takes a holding pattern at the moment. What approach do you guys want to take? You can use your ruler to kind of point around, or you can ping. Basically, what I'm going to require here, guys, is sort of a wherever you're going to go, unless it's the ships, which are offshore, which are out in the ocean. If you're going to go ashore, even in the Zeppelin, I kind of need to know from what direction you're going to be approaching. You can use the ruler tool at the top left of your screen. That's a little circle icon. If you click on that, it allows you to click and drag an arrow thing like this.
Well, we're coming from the north, right? Because we were heading south.
Well, yeah, but you saw these ships over here, so I'm assuming you're kind of coming from this way.
Okay.
That's how you approach the island, and you see these ships anchored offshore.
Where are
It's
the
like
doors
trying to go
exactly
over
on
here.
the mountain face?
They face to the south.
I feel like I want to go over here. Check this area, then move along to this area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait
this
a minute.
area as well?
So we could come in through this harbor here and land, and then and make it. Oh wait, this little arrow.
Yeah, I mean, you can be, and Devlin would say this, is, you know, you guys can be pretty certain that you guys approaching in the Zeppelin, you've been spotted, you know, by these guys up on this peak. And this peak's 300 feet high.
Yeah, I feel like I get ready
We need to
to
put-
like get attacked. Like I'm ready.
We need to put someone. We need to put
down.
someone. Put someone on the machine gun and definitely assault this
I have a
this
machine
area,
gun.
right?
Yeah, Devlin's like, yep. And he
I
says,
have-
you know, he says in the ships, doesn't look like there's anybody on the ships. I'm not seeing any movement down there. So
But
they
still,
must all be
we're-
on the island.
They're all on the island already.
I think that's their vessels to take them back.
Machine guns and everybody get armed and hose these people down.
Hose them down.
As far as plan of attack goes, the machine guns, to use them, what skill would that be?
Machine gun.
I mean,
It wouldn't be a firearm skill, it'd be something different.
Yeah, it'd be firearm machine gun, which I think a base of 20 or 15. I'd look at it.
So Johnny wouldn't have any skill in that?
No.
Okay.
well, wait. I guess when we attacked the lodge in Boston, that was different. We were using like a different set of rules for the 30 cows.
No. Actually, we were using different like automatic weapon rules, but Van Helsing was still having to roll 15%, I believe, on his hit rolls. But back then, it was, you know, he was rolling, you know, for shit, he was firing like 50 bullets in a round or something like that.
Any of the crewmen, are they skilled in machine gun?
Not really. You know, not any better than you guys. Devlin has a little bit, but it definitely is a skill. But the thing is, here's how automatic fire works. Let me see if I remember this. So you look at your dexterity and you divide that by 10. So if you have like a 50 dexterity, you divide it by 10, that tells you how many bullets you can fire in a volley. So you'd be able to fire 5 bullets per volley. Or no, you can fire 5 volleys of bullets.
I can fire 6.
Yeah, and then you make your to hit roll, I think, for each volley, I believe is the way it works. I meant to bone up a
Is
little
it
bit on the
rounding
rules,
up
but
or rounding down?
no, it's rounding down.
So I still have 6.
And what happens is you get your normal percentage of chance to hit, and then you get a penalty die for the second volley, and then you get 2 penalty dice for the third volley. But the mount, since they're mounted weapons, I'm not going to give you guys extreme like recoil penalties. So I would allow, you know, like 2 regular shots at 15, 2 regular volleys at 15%, and then you'd have to roll the third volley at a penalty die, and then the fourth volley 2 penalty dice, and the fifth volley you would get 2 penalty dice and need a hard success, etc., etc.
How about we just destroy those ships?
No. Head right to the
We might
to the
need 'em.
pillar. Middle. We got to destroy the island. Ships with us.
Yeah.
And then
Plus,
there's some.
we might use the ships to escape later.
Well,
And then also, you guys, there's a rule suppressing fire with automatic weapons, where you just kind of fire indiscriminately, and it's kind of to force people to try to make a dodge roll to get out of the way. And if you hit with suppressing fire, it hits a random target, not necessarily what you're aiming at, and they get a dodge roll against it. But you can also just use suppressing fire. So any machine gun fire you don't have a skill for, I mean, it works. You know, and it's gonna do you know, damage to objects and shit too, of course. But as far as
We have a
accuracy,
bullhorn?
forget about it. No.
Do we have a bullhorn, Sean?
No, you have a 1962 Emerson tape recorder. But no bullhorn. Devlin's got like I would imagine Devlin has like a siren kind of a thing, attached to the Zeppelin, but no bullhorn.
Well, when we get within firing range, we lay down
just a note.
crazy fire.
Remember, a lot of these guys that are wizards.
Go on.
All know this, and we all know the spell to reverse reincarnation.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably should have, a couple people on machine guns and a couple people chanting that reverse.
That's a great idea.
Resurrection spell.
Yeah, you actually target someone specifically with resurrection to do it. If you use, and you guys know, is if you cast the reverse of resurrection on somebody who's already been resurrected, you change them back into the blue-gray powder that they came from. But
one by one.
I'm sorry, Tom, I missed that. You cut out on me.
I can't cast the spell. I can't cast the spell to revert them to dust and just say it out loud and affect all 300 of them. I have to do each one by one.
Right. Yeah,
okay. So there's going to be here's what to remember. There'll be a bunch of cultists, but then there will be, Carl Stanford, Barry.
Just like do Carl say Carl Stanford's name. Because I do. No one wants to fight him. Or we can just stab him in the throat.
There'll be wizards like Carl Stanford that won't be destroyed by a good bullet.
So Tom, reciting the spell backward returns the resurrected entity to dust, and likewise requires the expenditure of 3 magic points and 1d10 sanity points. The dust can be retained or thrown away, etc., etc. For the spell to take effect, the caster must succeed an opposed power roll with the target. If the caster wins, the victim is turned to dust. If the victim wins, it may try to prevent the caster from reciting the spell again. It takes 2 rounds.
Can we, have Van Helsing just say Carl Stanford's name?
He's going to have to get more up close and personal. He's going to have to identify him, for one thing, and be, within a reasonable distance of him to actually target him with the spell.
It sounds like we got to get on the ground. We have to land and find Stanford and find this monument. We're not going to find anything from up here in the Zeppelin. We got to land.
Basically, man, we need to assault that cliff face and hose all those cultists down and jump off and do the doors.
Like rappel down?
Totally repel. I mean, actually bring the blimp in close enough using the 50 or the 30s on the front, and then jump off the front of the blimp onto the ground and then
All right, let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, there is some danger in that, and Devlin pointed that out. Flying the Zeppelin's not like flying an airplane, he says. He says, I can only get so close, to the peak. Actually jumping off could be dangerous. In order to stabilize the Zeppelin, we would have to tether it somewhere in order to safely disembark. You know what I'm saying? To just jump. Again, Lee, we're not playing pole, so you have to kind of think.
Gotcha.
If you're in a Zeppelin approaching like the face of a mountain, he wouldn't be. What he's telling you is he wouldn't be able to get too close. We don't want to endanger the Zeppelin.
From my climbing perspective, does it look like a place we could? From a climbing perspective,
like Tom says.
We'll see. Okay.
Like Tom says, you can rappel down on ropes from the Zeppelin. But if there's going to be quite a fall if you're not careful. That's all I'm saying. But as far as just kind of jumping off of the the deck of the Zeppelin onto the mountain's not going to work. There's got to be, some coordination here because the Zeppelin's going to be moving. It's not going to be stationary. I mean, Devlin's a damn good. He says, "I'm a damn good pilot, but I have my limits." He says.
Is there a likely approach? As I'm looking at this, is there a likely approach up to level? I guess you call it the 200 mark, up to the 300. Is there a likely approach? A path?
No, not really. It's just jagged rock and just numerous buildings and monuments just scattered. Some of them are huge, some of them are small. And again, it's kind of hard to tell because some buildings obscure other buildings. You're not seeing any roads or paths.
Obscure other buildings that obscure.
Yeah, your best guess is that these cultists just climbed up there somehow.
Can we see ladder stairs or stairways up, like on the south side?
Nope, no roads, no paths, no stairs.
You could park it somewhere up there on the 300 mark. Is there a place where we can put it down?
Tom, you think you see a path for a second, but then you kind of look closer and it's not there anymore.
Where did I think I saw it?
Somewhere over there, but it's not there anymore. Wait, might be a path over there, but no, it's actually looks more like a wall now. So there is no safe approach. He said if we wanted to tether the Zeppelin, it would, it would have to be more on level ground towards the shore. But to approach the peak, we could certainly do that and hose them down, he says. But as far as disembarking up there, that could be dangerous work.
Anybody summon some star steeds for us?
Says Jean-Luc with a heavy French accent.
If only Logan Grant was
the star seed. Yes.
Star steed?
Summon the bug things. The fly.
It is the fly. The fly can do nothing.
What were those things we summoned to steal the books for us? Night.
Yes, the star steeds. That's what we're talking about, Tom. The Byakin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's call a couple of those.
Yeah. So when you call these things, they arrive still icy from space. It can take time though. In your experience, I think the first time you did it, it took about 10 minutes for them to arrive. Second time it was done was out in the Hell Cannock, Scotland, and they didn't arrive until like pretty long time later after Sparky was already eaten. They showed up when you guys fled into the woods. So the time to call them varies, and you also know that when you call them and they arrive, that you must bind them, separate portion of the spell.
Yep.
You're not quite sure what happens when you're unable to bind them, but probably nothing good.
Well, wait, doesn't somebody else have bind as well?
Oh, among the investigators here, I don't think so. I think Logan Grant knows.
Yep, Logan Grant knows a few things.
Call airy travelers. Yeah, I don't think anybody else knows that spell, Tom. It's a power versus power roll to bind them. Your power's at 67. It's not bad.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Try to get one of these night hags to help us? You can go kill a bunch of these cultists.
Yeah.
Or we just
and of course, for everyone but Van Helsing, it's going to be a sanity hit to witness these alien monsters. They're not very pleasant.
Yeah,
they smell like mothballs.
I tell everybody the option.
Fight fire with fire. Call the beast.
Call the beast, he says.
Yeah, John
I just put a blindfold
right.
over my eyes.
I call it.
All right.
Sean doesn't sound like he likes that idea. Wait a minute. Let me think about this.
Can we help?
No, I like it. I love it.
Can we help him with the power? Is there any way we can?
Let's do this.
Yeah, can we gain power? Can I leverage power off of people?
No, let's take a look at it here. Right. So let me see. So summon bind spells, they cost magic points. 1d4 sanity points. Let me look at the spell itself here. Call airy travelers. Command airy travelers. A whistle must be blown during the chant. So you have Jacob Crowninshields enchanted whistle. Magic point cost varies. For each magic point sacrificed, increase the chance for a successful cast by 10 percentiles. So for each magic point you spend, it gives you 10% chance. 96 to 100 is always a failure. Spell also costs 1d3 sanity points to cast. And is active. Now this is the important part, I guess, because the spell is active only on nights when Aldebaran above the horizon. October through March are the best months, so it's the right time period, but it must be cast at night when the star is above the horizon. Aldebaran. Summoned airy travelers. So yeah, you're gonna have to wait till nighttime.
We are above the dead city.
That is true.
City though. I mean, it is Raleigh, people. I think any kind of Cthulhu spell you're going to cast would probably have a great chance, since we're in the center of. Summon a flock of them, Tom. You might summon a whole flock.
That's right. That is your experience. You've never, I think the first time you summoned three of them came, and the second time I think it was only 1, 2. So it does. The number does vary as well. So yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to wait until after nightfall to attempt this. Now to bind them, so you spend 1 magic point for every 10 percentile. So say you wanted a 60% chance, you'd have to spend 6 magic points. Then, foolish is the impatient wizard who only learns to summon and not to bind, says Nameless Cults. Let me see here.
Johnny Law just nods his head approvingly, since he has no idea what you crazy people are talking about magic.
It's a power versus power roll. So you need whoever gets the highest level of success with a power versus power wins. With success, the thing is bound. With a failure, likely, the Nameless Cults tells you that the creature will attack the caster and return from whence it came. But you know that bound, the thing must obey one order by the caster, even to attacking its own kind, says the book, after which it is freed and returns from whence it came.
Who has the highest?
Well, it doesn't matter who's got the highest. It's who knows the spell is the problem.
Yeah.
What?
So that's what I was doing. That's what we were doing before, Tom. Other people who know the spell can contribute magic points towards the spell. That's what we were doing before with Logan.
Okay.
So since no one else knows the spell, we're kind of relying on your magic points to cast it.
Yeah, you
now,
got
what
this,
about
Van Helsing.
What about the spell to lower Riley? How many people know that? Everybody knows that, don't they?
Everybody here knows that, yes. They've been
so we can all join power on that.
Law.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple chant, actually.
Okay.
Dr. Underbook told you that the more people chanting atop the blue monolith, the better. But he's really kind of unclear how it works. But he's quite confident that the spell that he taught you guys, the chant, is what you need to do. You just have to be atop the blue monolith.
All right, then I'm going to definitely try this airy traveler thing. Get ready, guys. It might be a big mistake, but it might help us.
All right. So you're going to wait for nightfall?
What could go wrong?
Well, we could do what we already want to do in the meantime, guys. We could go in there and just start shooting them off, picking them off with the machine gun until something happens.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just
what are
circle
the
the
odds that
island.
the bloody tongue is going to show up?
He could be here already.
None, right?
Why hell not?
You know what? If the bloody tongue is here, we're dead no matter what we do. So, I guess we might as well start shooting.
Kill them all, my friends.
I mean, we've got machine guns mounted to this thing, don't we? Are there are they? Can we see them? Are they mid ritual right now?
Yeah, we can.
They appear to be.
Yeah.
So what if we just fly over them and open fire?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Can you
'cause
basically
if they're distracted by the ritual, the time to strike would be now.
Yeah.
All right. Johnny has a plan.
send
Yeah, let's
from
just
behind him? Come in from
Yeah.
behind him and get him in the angle with the 2 machine guns. Man.
Mhm.
Most of Johnny's
has-
plans revolve around shooting people.
Everybody else who has guns, you should open up with your own guns.
I tell them
Let's do
we're
it.
going to just
And
attack.
I've got that long range rifle, so I can try to pick
Look
people
for
off
any
with
wizards.
that too.
Yeah, look for any wizards.
All right, I can focus on.
Time to strike us now, friends.
There appears to be several dozen people up there right now. Maybe 40, 50, at least, maybe more.
Can we see
It's
if any of
time.
them look important?
They're all naked. They all kind of look the same from this distance.
All right, I'm shooting.
You can faintly hear.
Someone's getting a
sound- you
bullet to the balls. That's happening.
You can faintly hear like the sound of drums coming from the peak. Kind of
Do
on
we
the
see
wind,
any
you can hear
drums?
the sound of drums.
As soon as we're within range, we open fire.
Yeah, can we see any drums?
Yeah, you can hear them.
Okay.
All right, so we're doing the direct assault on the peak of the island. Okay.
I actually do
Who's
have to
manning
quit
the
at 12.
machine
Yeah, me too. So I think here would actually be a good stop. But just to
Yeah,
give
gun?
me,
Okay. Yeah.
just
Oh,
give me
wow, I didn't
one,
realize
just
that.
give me one moment though. I want to look at something here. Oh, I know what I can do. So as you guys approach, I think you said you were going from the north, like kind of from the backside here, right?
And so when we cross the plane in
Mhm.
front, we'll hose them.
Right. Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of come around the structure that's on top of the peak, and then open
Exactly.
fire.
As soon as we peek around the corner, man, we freaking unload hell on 'em.
All right. As you guys approach from the north, Stuart's at the wheel, Devlin, and he's looking off to the west, and he points, and you guys can see the thunderheads coming in there
Uh-oh.
from that direction. Looks like there's some bad weather coming.
Oh no.
You guys still have some time though. It looks like, and Van Helsing kind of shudders. You can actually see the flashes of lightning in the clouds way up there in the distance. As you guys are getting closer to the island, I can't really understate the appearance of the island. It's covered with these green and black structures are covered with slime. You can see it just kind of shining in the sunlight that's coming down on it. And you can see all over the island bloated sea creatures of all kinds, fish mostly. You actually see a whale kind of lying down there. Looks like it's been injured, kind of down in the muck in the island. Dripping seaweed is hanging off of all of the structures. And as you approach, you begin to hear the low rumbling of the thunder coming from the storm that's approaching. And again, you can see the waters that surround the island appear to be kind of dark and unnatural looking. They glisten with some kind of oily substance, maybe that's coming off of the island. So yeah, I think we'll just stop there, and we'll do the assault at the beginning of next session. And I would say it's probably safe to assume that the epic climax of the campaign will be next week, or next time we can play, when everybody can make it.
Okay.
All right.
It will be the epic finale.
Yeah. So is that our plan of attack, guys? We're just gonna open them up with machine gun fire and.
Yep. And I have ropes
Everybody's
ready.
gonna open up.
I've got a rope tied around my waist with the Boy
Lower
Scout
you down and.
I have to shinny down and get off this Zeppelin in a hurry.
Okay. Wait,
I'm ready.
What's your strength again? 30?
Yeah, but I'm on cocaine, so
Yeah.
it's
He's
double
all right.
that.
he'll do a line ahead of time. He won't feel a thing,
I do a bunch of lines. I'm ready to go. And I pass it around to all the red shirts and all the other military personnel who want it.
Right.
We're going in, boys. I look at them all with my eye, and it rolls.
Yeah. Well, Devlin would have told you guys that his crew, his 5 guys, they've come to Devlin and they said, like, we're in with you, Devlin, but if it comes to going down there, down there, he says they don't want to go, and that's the same for Pereira and his men. They really, they have shared those sentiments with you guys. Like they're a little taken aback by what's happening here because they've seen the island too, and it's really beyond what they've imagined seeing. You guys know a lot more than they do, but just beholding the ancient ruins on this island is they've taken some sanity hits for sure. They're not feeling it.
I dose them up on a bunch of coke and say, "Cover us, guys. If we get off this thing and go down there, get on those guns and lay down some grazing fire. Take these guys out."
What's the meaning of this? Just take some of this. We'll be fine.
Take some of this.
Can I?
You'll be all right, boy.
Yeah.
Also,
Good for you, son.
Can I convince them?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Take this. The eye rolls.
Yeah. So Tom, did Stuart tell you about the idea for the Western campaign of having one of Van Helsing's ancestors from the late 1800s?
Yeah.
Van Helsing's a child.
Head of the Van Helsing
Yep.
estate.
I like that a lot.
That would
That's
be cool.
gonna be perfect.
It works perfectly because when you look at the timeline, Van Helsing would be alive. He'd be a little boy, a little wee lad at the time this Old West campaign would take place.
I didn't
Living
think
with
about
his
that.
mother living with his mother as his dad is out there cutting off the arms of Civil War vets.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Exactly. Yeah. Because because this is what? This is
1924.
this is 1924, and Darker Trails is what? 1880, right?
Yeah, actually it's going to be 1869, I believe.
1869.
Oh.
Okay.
During the Civil War.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're starting off in 1869. I just
Van
put together
Helsing,
a couple
I think, would
things
probably
here. You
still
guys
be
can
alive.
check it
Where's
out.
Van Helsing?
You guys are
Yeah,
gonna be
because Van Helsing's old
starting
enough.
out and
24. He would have been born before 69. So
Actually, it's like 3 years after the Civil War. Civil War ended in 65, didn't it?
yeah,
1865?
it's the perfect time to start.
Yes, it is.
We're going to be in
Perfect.
San Rafael, El Paso County, Texas, 1869.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
So I look forward to that. I look forward to the epic finale of Shadows of Yog-Sothoth too. It'll be interesting.
yeah, this would be cool. And did I tell you, old man, what I've got going on with the swords? I carry one gun, and it's the what do you call it? Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it basically is the equivalent of the Judge. The revolver that shoots shotgun shells.
Yeah, you told me, yes. That's
I carry just the one gun. Nobody knows I've got it, but I tuck it right back there in the back of the belt, just in case. And I've got 9 shells, and they're all loaded into that gun.
He's not a big gun guy though. He kind of likes the flash of the blade.
Oh yeah, no. I'm obsessed with my own ego. I have to use the swords.
I am basically the scholar gunfighter.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun character to play.
Yes.
So we'll have to get together sometime, Tom, roll the character for you. So
Okay,
we'll start
yes.
thinking of some ideas.
Must be a Van Helsing.
I'm looking forward to seeing Van Helsing Senior.
That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna leave this page up, Tom. This Down Darker Trails page. If you scroll down, it gives you the archetype that you get to pick from. There's a list there. So you pick an archetype, and then you're gonna pick a class to go with that.
Okay. All right, I'll take a look.
Take a look if you get a chance. All right, fellas. Until next time. We'll see you.
All right, good night, everybody.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Good
Take
night.
care, guys.